Hello everyone, it's me Doomlink, and I'd like to welcome you all back to Generations Ultimate. I am joined by Ethan, and I think this is the first time...
Doing?
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've done Generations Ultimate together in a long time. I hope I've got everything set up properly, but if we don't, then I would imagine we'll find out. Well, there's one thing that I haven't set up at all. It's my chat. That's alright, I'll just use my normal phone as opposed to the phone that I exclusively use to read chats. Okay. We will get a room together, obviously. I also haven't decided whether or not to make this Doomlink's Life Hunts or Hunting with Purpose. Essentially, we're probably going to be doing stuff for Ethan. We haven't discussed this at all. We haven't decided what you'd like to make, Ethan. Nothing like that.
Well, I'm currently masticating a lollipop, so.
But are you?
I got to the mastication part. It is definitely my favorite.
This is in reference to a conversation that we had before the stream where Ethan was saying that he is really obsessed, maybe not obsessed, we'll just say addicted to eating lollipops these days. And I said, well, I'm not really into that sort of thing because much of the pleasure that I get out of eating is derived from the mastication of the food as opposed to sucking on things. You know, sucking on things doesn't really do it for me, and Ethan informed me that there is mastication that takes place at the conclusion of the sucking, which for some reason is apparently good enough, and which isn't for me.
Dude, it's a very low-calorie snack that lasts for like an hour.
You say it's low-calorie, but there's a lot of fucking sugar in that. It can't be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 calories.
Yes, well.
And it lasts forever. It sits in your mouth, you know, you get a lot of flavor for a good while. And once you get to the end and it gets all, you know, small and stuff, you just masticate it.
Oh yeah.
What's up, P-Berry? You living the good life, baby?
Yeah, he is. He's watching me like every time I go live. Sounds like a good way to spend one's existence to me.
I feel that.
Yeah. My beverage today is going to be Saint Bernardus Watteau. Trying to remember what the... I don't remember how to pronounce this one. It's actually in... I can't remember 6 in Latin. Shit, what is it? Say is... I don't know. It's not cis, obviously that's the French one. I was thinking that it was Pater Cis or something like that, because it's a French beer, but it's actually written in Latin, as I found out, because... Anyway, aside from getting confused over Latin and French, it's a very good beer. I think the last time I had it was in a World at War recording, which was viewed by precisely 0 people, so yeah, it's good to be able to actually demonstrate it on camera for the benefit of this audience, which does exist.
In case anyone is interested in what I'm drinking, I have a Vita Coco coconut water, the original.
The original.
16.9 fluid ounces, 500 milliliters. We're looking at the blue bottle. 45 calories per serving and 2 servings per container.
Excuse me, can you elaborate a little bit on what food ounces are? Because this is some weird imperial shit that I've never heard of before.
Ounces? It's not a food ounce, it's just an ounce. Like, it's like a weight.
Oh, so what's the relevance of the word food in this case?
Did I say food ounces?
I heard
fluid ounces.
Fluid. Okay, so what? Would people think that there's not fluid in there and it's actually like solid coconut?
You know what? This is funny that you say that because I have always wondered what the distinction is between fluid ounces and regular ounces. I'm actually pretty sure that there is a difference. I just don't know what it is.
Well, it seems like you're overcomplicating things unnecessarily. Not you personally, but you know, you must take responsibility for the imperial system that everyone else has dropped.
Right, because I'm the emperor, therefore.
Yeah. Well, no, you're not the emperor. You're just having to take responsibility for your crazy little system, which incidentally is not even used scientifically in your country anymore. It's like imperial.
Well, no, the only people that use it are like your everydayers. Because it's just, I don't know, I guess variables of 10 are just too hard.
Ghastly Tal informs me that he is drinking very fine aged bottled water. which
Oh
probably
yeah.
not good to drink that if it's too aged, especially if it's in a plastic bottle. That is ill-advised. Some of that fine plastic particles in my water.
Nothing better.
Alright, I'd better make a room. You'll be able to join me without much difficulty.
Everyone's getting to see my cool outfits that I designed. I'm pretty sure nobody in chat has actually seen my dope-ass outfits.
I'm not going to...
This is the first game I've ever transmogged, and I'm pretty proud. Not gonna lie.
Well, I've only got vague memories of your armor sets, and I'm not going to give them any teasers or hints as to what they can expect to see, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good from my recollections.
Well, I have one that was very, very animu, and I liked it a lot.
Animu.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so disappointed with my earphone cable right now. It just does not want to sit nicely. It's like, no matter what, I'm always pulling it in some way that I don't intend to pull it.
Like, one of them, you'll see, it's very, like, Catboy-esque. You'll be like, oh my. Like,
did you say
Ethan looks
Catboy? Oh no, I remember that one, yeah.
I would be a guy that would, like, hit up a girl in her DMs and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Ooh-woo.
Yeah, I can get that. I see that.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, you mean the uwu, the fucking UWU thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, for a period of time, I didn't even know that was a face, and no one had informed me that it was a face. Or had informed me otherwise.
It serves two functions, I think.
Oh.
I think it is not only an expression, ooh, I think it's also a face.
No, I think it's supposed to be a face, and people have, not realizing that it's a face, actually verbally gone ooh, thinking that it's some sort of vocal expression. I don't think it is.
You can just imagine the first girl ever to open one of those messages going, the fuck's an ooh-woo? Like, just for whatever reason, she has, like, an old New Yorker exactly. She's got a New Yorker accent. She's just like, what the hell's the ooh? What's an ooh?
Yeah,
hey, who's KK?
He's missing 1K.
Someone in chat? No, he's not. Absolutely not.
No, listen, racism is becoming a bit of a theme for my recordings. We've had no Asians...
That's not a good strategy for growth, sir. In 2022. Well, actually, it could be a huge strategy for growth, but it's also
exactly,
like, not
but perhaps
strategy for growth.
Yeah, it might not be pulling in the sort of audience that I want, if you know what I mean.
You might get those dudes that are just like, woo! You know what I'm talking about?
No, and to be honest, I don't know if I want you to expand on that.
Yeah, you know, woo boys. So.
Sure.
Woo!
Okay. I see.
Yeah,
okay.
You know the ones.
Yeah, sure. You've probably had personal experience with them, haven't you? In your part of the world. Anyway, do you have a quest that you would immediately like to post? Because
yes.
I get a feeling that these two people that have joined this room are antsy for some action.
Yeah.
KK is already...
Do we know these two? Oh my gosh, look at this man's armor, bro. He looks just like Link. That's crazy.
It's because he is using the Link armor set.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking around.
No, well,
I don't remember what I was working towards. So why don't we throw something up in the meantime just to get them started?
Okay. Well, I'll have to choose something that's weak to ice. I don't want to even change my loadout. I need to select something as soon as possible. I'm sure they're going to think it's some kind of turns room. How quaint.
Yeah. If Gaijin Hunter comes in, please kick him out for me.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not even going to let him send a message. I'm just going to dump him straight.
Actually,
out.
he'll probably have like a post-traumatic stress freak out. He'll be like, oh no, it's him, and he'll like leave of his own accord.
He won't remember quite what happened that was associated with my name, but it will prompt an immediate...
Be like, oh god, it's that Lord Zor, son of a bitch. Alright, I'm gonna get Ultimate Race. And,
okay, so one of them is one of my viewers, Yamatori-san, okay. I mean, you have to understand that that's not such a unique name that I was going to automatically assume that it was you, but yes, it's good to see you in here. It means that the wild card is KK. He is the one that is out of our control.
I don't remember what I needed to make defense up high.
I think it's just meat and drink. No, that's attack. I think it's fish and bread. Fish and bread.
Oh, I got blowfish here, baby. Oh, it says right here. I'm dumb, bro.
You stupid.
I'm so dumb. Don't mind me, dude. I'm dumb.
You stupid. You're keeping the team waiting. The whole thing.
I am?
No. Well, you're keeping KK waiting. There's absolutely no expectation of departing within like 2 minutes of the quest being posted, but that is a bit of an expectation within this community. Immediate departure. Even if you've left things behind. Actually, speaking of which, I haven't even eaten. Even if you have to leave things behind, you gotta get on that quest. These people have a curfew to work around, you have to understand. You know what I mean?
What?
They're all Chinese. Didn't you know
What's
that?
your point?
My point is that they can only play video games for like an hour or something. I don't know.
What do you mean? Why can they only play for like an hour? I don't even know what we're hunting right now. I'm not.
What do you have equipped? Oh, you've got a water
I have
sword
a
and shit.
sword. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
Whoa, is
good
it
enough.
water? Wait.
No.
I'm using a water sword and
Yes,
shield?
you're
I thought
using a
this
water
was-
sword. No, that's a water sword and shield. That's the
Oh,
Odyssey Blade.
boy.
This thing harkens back to first gen, man. That's one of the classic water sword and shields.
Okay, I'm following you.
Hello, Giza. Giza!
First time chatter. Yo, what's good, my G?
Anyway, water damage should hopefully be good enough. Oh, and to further clarify what I was talking about before, if you're playing video games in China, there's a problem, because you're not going to be able to do much of that. It may be regional, I don't know, but in what I would assume to be many regions of China, you are by law. Oh, there we see? I'm telling you, it's the curfew, man. We kept him waiting. This is what I'm telling you. He's got limited time. They cut off your fucking internet if you play a video game for more than like an hour.
Did you put us in a nibble snarf hunt?
What's wrong with that?
I mean, nothing, I guess.
Are you one of those people who has some sort of issue with nibble snuff? Because I've never understood those sorts of people.
No. I just, he's kind of a...
Well, he's hyper.
Oh, he's hyper. Got it.
Yeah. It's not like...
He's still
look at
kinda
me. I'm
goofy,
getting
though.
absolutely annihilated right now. I don't know what it is about me. I must look especially tasty or something.
Well, go fishing. Get him out of there.
Oh, whoops. I was too busy reading the chat to realise that the monster was attacking me, or gearing up to attack me. Incidentally, my game speakers are far too low. I can't hear a damn thing, but that's because they were too loud before. I'm going to once again avoid
completely off.
discussing my fucking game speakers, because I complain about them every time.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, excuse me.
He's so angry.
He is hyper. Apparently, Giza actually downloaded the Twitch app just to watch me live, which is very good of him. I'm going to assume he's from YouTube. I can't imagine...
Oh, I know who that is. I know who that is.
Who?
That's my friend Kaylee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, she's watching us hunt. She's just she's chilling at home right now.
Well, you
I
gave
told her
her...
to peep, I told her to peep the stream.
I see. Well, you gave her a very intelligent greeting.
Yeah. What's good, my G?
Just a
My geese.
recap for anyone.
What's
who hasn't
good, my geese?
heard. Okay. Thank you.
Uh-oh. I think someone drunk might be knocking on my door.
Really?
Give me a moment. Yeah. Give me... Hold on. I'm gonna mute up.
Yeah, it might be a good idea, otherwise we might hear a loud thump. And, a short whimper. And then awkward silence, and then... This is the police! But that won't happen immediately. I don't think they respond that quickly to such incidents, unless they happen to be in the vicinity. In which situation I can only assume it would only be better for us to have it unmuted. just for the entertainment of it. And then he never returned. Exactly. Well, it's live. That's what it means to be live, everyone. If something does go wrong, that's it. It is now in the possession of the internet. So, by the way, I've been playing very non-aggressively. Actually, what is it? Oh, Ethan's still running around. He's probably picked up his Switch while he's, going to the... What's going on, man?
It was my roommate's birthday today, and he was celebrating. He was just coming in to say that, like, he was sorry he didn't invite me, but it was because I was working.
Oh. I was expecting him to come in angrily demanding an explanation as to why you hadn't wished him happy birthday.
No. I wished him happy birthday, for sure. I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to forget the birthdays in my life. Actually, you know what? Your birthday's coming up too, isn't it?
No, you missed it. Lord.
I missed your birthday?
Yeah, I probably have never told you it. I don't go around advertising my birthday. I'm not really a birthday kind of guy.
Bro, how is it that
My birthday's in July, man. It's like, we're in September and you're like, it's coming up.
It is coming up, technically. It's always coming up.
Whatever makes you feel better.
Yeah, well, don't let me miss it again.
Okay, if it means a lot to you, I'll be sure to let you know.
It does. Means the world. I'm using my chaos oil right now. So this guy's about to get goofed.
I'm not advertising that information, Tal. I'm not a birthday person, seriously.
He's not a birthday boy. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm wasting my chaos oil right now. This is ridiculous.
I haven't even used my unhinged spirit. I've been playing so lazily. I think part of it is that I can't even hear the game. I feel totally out of sorts. I feel like I'm not really in the game, you know. Where's my immersion? It's gone. It doesn't exist.
You want me to, like, hum the song for you?
I'm
gonna give him the Zenogre theme song.
It will conflict terribly with the live stream because they can hear it. I can't. So, I mean, as tempting a proposition as that is, I'm going to have to decline. I might actually...
I'm getting called a bad friend right now. That's where we're at. Because you didn't tell me your birthday.
Well, does that make me the bad friend?
I would think so. I've known you for like 10.5 years at this point. For fuck's sake. We basically fought in the war together.
Yeah, okay.
The great Monster Hunter World /
Oh, I think Yamatori's not going to make it.
Old gen, new gen.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you know what? Hold up. Did I use my sword net? Oh my. Oh my.
What are you doing?
I wasted my sword dance. Don't mind.
Did you use it just then?
I did, yeah.
That's like the most dangerous time to use it.
You're telling me, bro.
Well, next time, ask.
What? I shouldn't have to ask you to use my own dance moves.
No,
okay?
I mean, well, fair enough. You're probably not going through the hunt expecting to fail at every moment. Therefore, you're having to ask for advice.
Yeah, man, I'm a little out of practice. That's all. That's all.
Admittedly, you really do not play Monster Hunter these days. I should make that very clear to everyone watching. Ethan has not played Monster Hunter regularly since World came out, so...
Yeah, that's true.
He's a bit out of practice.
Yeah. I met this sweet little game called Rocket League, and then I just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
You sure did.
Yeah.
You haven't actually made it back since then. Still waiting for you to return.
What, from Rocket League?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I might just be a different man now.
You are.
Oh,
but we've persisted through the hard times, and I think we've found a way to continue.
I think that you've learned to love me despite my flaws. You know what I mean? And that's
yeah, that's basically it.
That's really a testament to your love, and it definitely shows. You know, you're a friend who stands above. You stand above. Dude, the joysticks on this controller are fire.
What controller is that? If you tell me the Joy-Con controller, I swear to God.
No.
I was gonna say.
Gross.
So what? Have you managed to connect a different controller to this thing?
I just bought like one of the shitty little plastic ones. It doesn't have rumble from the GameStop that it's like has like Link on it.
Well, you've simultaneously described the controller as a shitty plastic thing, whilst also praising the joysticks. So.
I'm
Is
gonna
it
say
shitty or is it not?
two things can be true at once. Okay,
It's true.
The controller is shitty in many ways, but it is nice in the way that is the joysticks.
I'm surprised. Usually that's what's not good. Although, if you think about it, it would make sense to have that at least be good.
Bro, can this guy like chill? I'm trying to kill it. Like, relax.
That's the nature of hyper monsters. They don't relax ever.
Bruh.
They're always upset.
He's not. He's in a mood for sure.
If you say so.
Oh my. I wonder if there'll ever be a Monster Hunter again that'll make me like play consistent.
Nope.
You don't think so?
Because you need a new Monster Hunter game to play consistently, for reasons that I don't really understand. But yeah, unless there's a new Monster Hunter game that you'll want to play, you're not going to play it consistently.
True.
You will need prompting from me. So, it is what it is. Apparently P-Berry knows exactly what controller you're referring to, and they are all right. That is his approach.
Yeah, that is exactly how I would characterize this controller. It is all right.
All right. Which is considerably more than we can say for the Joy-Con controller.
Yeah, those joysticks, I don't know what they were thinking. It's like the dumbest design I've ever seen.
They were not thinking. That is the point.
You know, just kind of seems a little rude, that's all. You know, sell me that garbage. Nintendo, I'm looking at you.
It's quite freeing to have lost my respect for both Nintendo and Capcom.
Oh, shit.
Like, totally. And, yeah, sort of... You take refuge in derision, you know. Sort of sit here hating everything and makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
Belated, unhinged spirit.
Well, it doesn't help that they completely just ditched the entire spirit of the original series, but, you know, we don't have to go on a tirade about that again.
Please, no. I try to avoid these things. Sometimes I can't help myself, but today I can, definitely.
You know what I love about my character?
What?
The pompadour.
Oh yeah. No, it suits you. Not just visually, but I guess in terms of the emotion, the... How do I say? It's you.
Yeah.
It's literally you, in a hairstyle.
If you were a hairstyle, you'd be a pompadour.
Yeah.
You know what? That is the highest of compliments.
Yeah, because that character from Yu Yu Hakusho has one of those hairstyles, right?
Yes, yeah. Kuwabara.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you like that character.
I do. I love that character. He is my guiding light.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Him and Kenshin Himura for all of you Rurouni Kenshin fans out there.
Well, you said the name forwards instead of backwards, so...
Oh, sorry. Himura Kenshin. like his girlfriend says it.
It's very affectionate.
Well, to be fair, the show in America was called Rurouni Kenshin. It wasn't called Kenshin Rurouni.
Oh wait, it wasn't Yu Yu Hakusho? I was getting my shows confused, was I?
Oh no, Yu Yu Hakusho was definitely the name of a show, and Kenshin Himura was how they said his name in the English.
Well, you see, this is when I was... Okay, so this was the thing. I thought the show in question that you were obsessed with was that, but no, it was Rurouni Kenshin, so that's fine.
Yeah, that one was my favorite, because I loved samurai back in the day. I was a big samurai boy. And then when Naruto came out, there was a little part of me, a really immature part of me that was like, nah, dude, I don't fuck with ninjas. I'm all about them samurai. But then I watched Naruto and I was like, fuck, dude, like Rock Lee is so cool. And then when Shippuden came out, I was like, this is fucking lame, dude. They did my boy dirty. They absolutely did my boy dirty.
Well, I think there was a bit more going on in the show than just that one character in the fucking tuning exams, man.
You know what?
Yeah, you heard me.
I don't like what I'm hearing coming out of your mouth right now. I will swim my happy ass to Australia and swat the shit out of you. Don't make me do it.
I wasn't expecting this kind of turbulence in a conversation about Naruto.
I don't know what else you expect. It is a conversation about Naruto. That by definition, that is a turbulent conversation.
Well, I didn't expect
You can't
it.
talk. You can't talk about Naruto with anyone without it becoming an argument, bro.
Well, I thought that maybe you and I were above that,
Above
but
that?
I guess not.
Nah.
Okay.
Never disrespect Rock Lee like that again. Don't ever talk to me or my son again.
Okay, I'll take greater care next time with my choice of words.
Listen, man, there's a lot of anime characters that you can roast, right? Kyoji, come on, let's laugh. Let's laugh together.
Who's that?
Schwartzbruder. Were you drinking?
Yes, and I just got like indigestion. It's like there's an air bubble stuck in my chest now. Oh fuck! It's
Man, those were
fortunately
good
going
days.
away, but
Man, I mean, I hope I didn't just spoil anything for anyone.
it's all right. This constitutes an inside joke almost, so I don't think we'll dwell on it. But
I mean, it's right out there. It's right out there in the open, though. I mean, if anyone has seen the show, they know what's going on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
anyway, let's just let this William guy post because I don't think we particularly have anything to do. So, Marshland Fandango, which is hyper.
Wait. Hold on. Why don't you like Naruto? Tall.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I needed.
Well,
I
you
mean,
probably
don't get me
didn't
wrong.
watch it when it was airing and everyone was like,
First of all, he can defend himself. Okay, I want to know. I want to hear his own words. Oh no, we have an Asian in the room, bro. I don't know if that's okay with you or what's.
I thought you meant because
I
I
don't
was
know what
going
the rule.
"Dattebaya."
I don't know what the rules are here.
Well, to start with, they're not allowed. And
Oh, right.
he's saying quick.
Oh.
See what I mean? Listen. We've had 2 interactions with people. Look, the first one I can't guarantee was Chinese, but is he saying that he? Oh, I understand. Sorry, I thought he was trying to get us to join on the quest as quickly as possible. Actually, he's quickly changing his gear. All right.
We've all been there.
Anyway.
Okay, personally, I just couldn't get into it. I'm not saying it's bad, but I found it to be a bit boring for me. Well, did you watch it without filler?
This is a touchy subject. Shit. I'm happy to like delve into this subject, but yeah.
Yeah,
like,
because
choose
you
your
have to
words
watch it
carefully.
without filler. There's so much filler in there. You know what I mean? Like it's
Okay.
rough. You know.
How many episodes do you think it would take before you get to your first filler episode?
Naruto? I don't know, like 6 probably.
What if he got bored of it before the first filler? What if he wasn't feeling it, man? What if he sees that, you know, scene where Naruto turns into a naked woman and he's just not feeling it?
I mean, there's a lot of Naruto that I don't get down to. I'm not sitting here saying Naruto's the best show on the planet. Like, Yu Yu Hakusho blows Naruto way out of the water. In fact, lots of shows do. But it's No, I'm not walking to your house. You're allowed to not like Naruto. He was gonna get slapped because he was talking trash on my boy Rock Lee. All right, that was it. You talk smack about Rock Lee, you get schmacked. You get schwatted. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, he'll just have to be excluded from further critical analysis. So
No, you're fine. You're fine. I need to control. I need to control my temper.
all right, so we do have a Gravios on the board, and I do need to make a decision as to what I'd like to use. I think we're going to use a... You know what? That Ivan guy, he's playing Monster Hunter Rise. I'm going to remove him as a friend. Where is he? This fucking guy.
Are you
Update
really
with
deleting
what?
someone for being for being on Monster Hunter Rise right now?
Yep. Where the fuck is he? Best friends? No, I want to remove him as a friend. Here we go. Delete friend. Get out. Motherfucker. Are you kidding me? 490 hours in Monster Hunter Rise? That makes me sick. Alright.
And his me looks Asian. Get him out of here.
Oh, come on. What? Why has this quest just been posted? He posted a different quest before. Oh, for goodness sake. What's the common element here? Is there one? Thunder, except for Zenoga, I guess.
Petty indeed. Petty indeed. Definitely.
Yeah. It's not... Well, it's actually not petty. It's like... I actually feel quite...
Yeah, don't let him catch you playing Monster Hunter Ghastly. Like, it's just not... Don't let him catch you playing Rise. Because he's gonna hold a grudge. If he's already seen you on Discord, he's got a grudge. He's just not showing it. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Well, I haven't seen
he's he's hovered the mouse
know.
over your name a couple times and like just sat there like, should I?
Well, I didn't know. Oh, now he is actually saying quick. I'm gonna smack this motherfucker. He literally posts a quest, right? Removes it, changes his equipment, and then while I'm getting ready for the quest that he had posted, he goes and posts a different one and has the fucking temerity to stand there and say, quick! Fucking shit stain.
First of all, he's trying to convey something with a very rudimentary understanding of the language that he's conveying.
I don't care. I know precisely what he's trying to get across. If he's standing there, and everyone's basically ready to go, and I'm not, and he sends the message quick...
Yeah, what he could be saying is, I really want some powdered chocolate milk. You don't know. So, you just need to relax.
I think one can only give someone the benefit of the doubt to a certain extent. That might be overstepping the line of reason just a little bit. But it's very nice
I don't
of
know,
you.
man.
You're being very charitable to this petulant individual, but anyway.
I think that petulant is
No.
is a very extreme
No.
characterization of his 3 words that he's uttered, 2 of which have been the same word.
I have no regrets for my choice of words.
I can hear it. I hear the lack of regret. What are we fighting? I have no idea what we're fighting.
We're fighting a lot of things. There's like 4 different monsters and I only remember 2 of them. Okay, I think it's...
Why? Why would he put on a multi-hunt? Like, anyone's got time for that.
Are you agreeing with my characterization of this person then?
No, I think he's probably alright. He's probably a good kid.
If you say
so.
Malfestio.
I like me some Malfestio. He's a good little...
Yeah, so I think the monsters are Malfestio, Zenoga, Rathalos, and there's another one. Oh, actually, I forget that we're playing a game where you can actually check it. So Tigrex is the other one. So I'm so used to playing that game that for some reason does not let you check the monsters in the quest when you're on the quest, which makes no fucking sense. I don't know how I'm supposed to get
in like a heartbeat.
Possibly. Yeah, actually, it's not even hyper.
What weapon are you playing? Oh yeah, he's gonna be toast.
Except that I can't get my orange color. I think I've tried the wings, head, and legs.
Did you try his big toe?
No, not yet.
That's probably where it's
not a bad idea. Oh, I just randomly got it. He's one of those monsters where all of his body parts are quite close together, so...
Yeah. Well, he's awfully small, you know?
Yeah. That's why I feel bad beating on this monster, because, you know, it's a bird, he's kind of small. Does he really deserve this kind of treatment?
Bro, could whoever is shooting me cut it out?
There's only one person... Oh no, there's 2 people it could be. Wonder who it is.
Yeah, I wonder who it is.
It's probably... You say it as if
Great.
you know.
I do know, motherfucker. I know.
Well...
I'll give you a hint. It's electric.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so you mean the... Yeah, okay. No,
Somebody
I was
who is
assuming
using
that to be the case
electricity.
because... Yeah, I was assuming that that was the case because he's shooting the Orcus Quarkus. It is the mindless, I'm pressing the A button and then the monster dies loadout. So...
Sounds like a good build, man.
Yeah, it certainly is. Very unique and ingenious.
Highly, highly original.
Yeah. It's an entirely novel strategy that no one has employed in this community as yet.
I'm just gonna follow you. You're leading the way right now.
Well, I'm
so
taking a drink, so you're gonna have to wait at least 5 seconds.
That's fine. I'll pop a potion with you. Oh, look at that! Man, you are like a guiding light.
Yeah.
How convenient is that?
Why did you think I was taking a drink? I had no need to go
Yeah,
anywhere.
dude, you were taking a little sippy sip. You know what I'm saying? You were just prepping. Had to hit your Gatorade so that your sweat could be colorful.
Well, I'm glad I haven't consumed Gatorade anytime recently.
But you
Doesn't
know that
sound
Gatorade
healthy.
makes it makes your sweat like glow like a color. You ever watch that episode of SpongeBob where they ate the pretty patties?
No, actually.
What?
I haven't seen
The
every
one where
episode.
SpongeBob?
Okay, look, I had one SpongeBob tape growing up, and I think I may have seen a little bit on TV, but I haven't seen every fucking episode. I wasn't
Wait, which
religiously...
episode was on your which episode was on your VHS?
I had, I think, 4 episodes. It was... what was it called?
Was it the one where
Man
he rips
Ray,
his
the
pants?
Man Ray episode. There was the one where he dried out in the fucking squirrel's home, where there's like no water, and then there was... Maybe it was 3 or 4. Anyway, I can only vaguely remember. I wasn't obsessed with it. Some
Right.
people were really into SpongeBob. I was not.
SpongeBob was funny, man.
Yeah, it was clever. It was good, but I don't know.
You know what I
Wasn't
remember
hugely
that
good.
a lot of people don't?
Well,
The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And it had 2 guys. No, seriously,
not
it had 2
good.
guys.
are you telling me that was good, or just that it was
Well,
funny?
I mean, I liked it when I was a kid.
Okay.
My standards were super low, so you know, I'm not gonna defend the fact that I liked it. You know what I mean? Like,
You just sit here and tell me that there's
yeah,
a
like,
perfectly
it was
good reason
it
relating
was
to
fine.
subtle preferences that led you to enjoy the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Look, it was a show. It had Mario and Luigi.
You're
I
definitely
liked
right about it
Mario
being a
and
show. I
Luigi.
won't argue that point.
Dude, they met celebrities and stuff. They showed up in the house. Plus, they had a pizza phone. They had a phone that was made out of pizza. You're gonna sit here and tell me that doesn't like scream at your inner child, like, yo, like this could be you. What if your phone was made out of what if your telephone was made out of pizza?
No, that you see, I was a little bit too practically minded. I would have been wondering why I would want to eat something that I would want to use as a tool to communicate with people using.
Wow, your inner child is just dead on arrival.
Yeah, it was actually. My entire childhood was
Jesus
characterized by like reacting incredulously to everything that other kids said to me and going, that makes no sense. That was literally
Yeah.
my child. I was that kid, you know?
But you were like a tiny little downer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the kid would be like, "Look at this shell, it's got powers," and you were like, "It doesn't."
Exactly. That was me. I mean, we've had this conversation. I had to do exactly that. I mean, we're not going to discuss who it is, Ethan, but because this person does have a YouTube channel, but I knew this person, this was 13 years ago, and he spent a considerable length of time convincing me that Chaos Emeralds from Sonic were real.
Wait.
What?
Do I know this person?
You don't know him personally, it's just you,
No, but
We've
I
had this
definitely follow
conversation.
him on YouTube, don't I?
you do. Anyway, Yeah, he spent a considerable amount of time trying to convince me and a friend of mine that Chaos Emeralds were real, and I quite foolishly put a lot of effort into trying to convince him that they were not real, but then, you know, I mean, it's not like I ever convinced him that they weren't, it's just that I came to realize that if he were...
I think he might have come to the conclusion on his own at this point.
Yeah, I think you'd hope so.
You know, I mean, I've watched his YouTube channel. I haven't heard him talk about him ever. Or at least not in the context of like.
Well, you wouldn't, would you?
real
You
or
got to
out
keep
there.
that shit to yourself. Start telling everyone about the Chaos Emeralds, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, I mean, they are out there, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, they're out there. As sure as I know the Earth is flat, I know the Chaos Emeralds are out there for us to find.
Yeah.
And the Dragon Balls.
Particularly the Dragon Balls.
Dude,
In
how
fact, I'd
great.
rather have those.
Well, so would I. But how great would it be if the Dragon Balls were a thing, bruh?
Would it be good though? It would only be good
I
if you
think
had them.
Well,
If you
I would
had
go
them,
get them.
sure.
I would go get them.
How?
I would
Okay.
build a Dragon Radar. What am I,
Let's
an idiot?
assume. Okay, but let's assume that. But my concern is that you're probably not going to be the only one who knows about them. So there are a lot of prerequisites to this being good. This whole thing. The first is that you know where they are. The second is that someone doesn't already have them.
Right.
And the third is that they're in a place that's easy to acquire them for a human being.
Okay, cool. So as long as all those things are accurate, I get to have my Dragon Balls. Thanks. Senior pragmatism.
But it's true, I mean, I don't think it would be good if they existed. Oh, there goes the gun.
Fucking absolute garbo.
Well,
Tier
unfortunately-
quest.
What?
Oh, I was saying, like, it's his quest.
Oh, well,
And he died.
the problem with him is that his only strategy is to shoot his gun, so unless the monster flinches, he will get hit.
Yeah, he was like all the other kids with their pumped up kicks.
Oh, for goodness sake. At least, you know what, I like the song references that I don't get. But the ones that I do
Wait.
get, I have a tendency to roll my eyes.
I can't tell if that's because the song references are bad or because you find it novel to hear song references that you don't get.
The first one. Because I
What
don't...
was the first one?
The first one was that the references were bad.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm
Got it.
certainly not up on the cool songs that everyone knows and would reference.
I mean, me neither, man. I still to this day think Ninja Sex Party is one of the greatest bands of all time.
Alright.
You show me another band that sings about taking a hot girl to your parents' house for a date.
Oh, actually, I think you played me that song. Either it was you
I
or
probably did.
Tyler played me that fucking song, and it was pretty bad.
Tyler certainly wouldn't. He does not like
Oh.
Ninja Sex Party.
I see. Well, he was either in the call at the time, or... I don't know. Maybe he advised me against listening to it. But...
All Tyler likes is Minecraft and fishing.
Okay. There's precisely nothing else in his life that he cares about.
Ironically, he can't stand fishing in Minecraft. Actually, no, that's not true. He did spend a bunch of time fishing in Minecraft, didn't he?
He did, but that's... I'm guessing he got bored of it.
There he is again, out there on the dock. Going after the big one. One of these days, he's going to find it. Oh my god, bro, I'm about to die.
I have been performing exceptionally poorly in this Tigrex hunt. It has been embarrassing. I've been hit so many times.
Dude, I've been barely hunting. I feel like I'm mostly just running around in circles and saying words.
It's possible, but at least in my case, I'm just going to blame the lack of game sound. I feel like I'm just not really there. It's like I'm in a dream sequence.
Should we chase that Tigrex, or should we, like, chill and whoop this
We'll chase
Rathalos?
it. We'll chase it. It's just unfortunate that it happens to be in a place that's not easily accessible.
Like a
But-
Dragon Ball?
Well, no, this just takes a little bit of time to physically walk there. There's nothing preventing us from accessing this monster.
So
Whereas
what
in
would
the
be
case
the
of
kind
Dragon
of
Ball,
yeah? What would be the kind of place that in your mind would be like, oh, that fucking sucks. Like that's gonna be
a
really hard to
volcano?
get to. You would go straight to volcano, motherfucker.
To get one of them?
I will build. Yeah, I
To
will
get
build
one of
a.
them.
I will build a volcano traversing submarine. Yeah.
That sounds entirely practical.
I've got the plans for one in the works right now, so you know, think before you judge.
Well, I think it would help if they existed first.
What,
Once we've
volcanoes?
worked that out.
Volcanoes exist, bro. We have proof of them.
Just because you have proof that satisfies you doesn't mean it has to satisfy me.
What, you don't believe in volcanoes? You guys hear this? This guy doesn't believe in volcanoes.
Until one erupts in my face and gives me permanent burn wounds, I'm not going to believe him.
I hope that somebody clips that and takes it out of context.
Sure. What if that's precisely what I was going for? Although the burn wounds part might be difficult to incorporate into it. Well, actually, you could just cut it before the mentioning of the burn wounds.
Yeah, just end it on one erupting in your face.
Yeah.
I love how you're like doing how to clip Doomlink out of context, do it yourself edition.
I'm not making it any easier. Or rather, I am making it easier for you, but not making it any easier for myself.
I'm not gonna do it.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
No, the last time I tried to clip something of ours, it took me like 3 hours. You know that TikTok I made of me like walking onto the mine?
Can we all just appreciate that Ethan uploaded a fucking highlight of us playing Remnant to TikTok? Can we just all have a moment of silence to appreciate this?
Are you trying to shame me right now? That what's going on here?
A little bit.
Well, what exactly is so shameful about that?
Well, TikTok to start with, and then second of all, well, I don't know, maybe there is an audience for Remnant stuff on TikTok, is there? Or do you have like a personal following?
No, it's not about Remnant. It's about that moment being so fucking classic. Like, you're literally in that moment scolding me like a petulant child because I let you run into a mine maliciously. And in the moment, I'm smugly saying like, oh yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like, not let you walk head first into a mine? That's hilarious. And then I run into a mine. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter what game I'm playing at that point. That's just funny.
Okay, fair enough. Guess I'd better go and make a TikTok account and post it as well. Get it out there.
Oh, I mean, I think you could probably get a couple viewers off of TikTok if you were posting your... No, for real. Like,
what kind of fucking dystopian future is it where Doomlink makes a TikTok? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, we're in it, bro. Like, we are in the dystopian future.
Alright. You've got two options. Either you resist it or you join them. If you can't beat them, join them. Well, I think I'll beat them one day.
I'm not the biggest fan of TikTok either, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I see a lot of people blow up on there on something silly like that. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, yeah.
Imagine if I posted that and then like a week later, out of nowhere, you had 1,000 people watching your stream.
1,000 people that I'd rather not watch it, actually.
Why? Because it came from TikTok?
No. Because they came from something that had absolutely nothing to do with the stuff that I make. Which means that they would be unlikely to stick around. So it would be a very short period of exposure that would probably result in maybe one, if I'm lucky, one regular viewer that would stick around.
Yeah, but then you'd get one big ol', you know, $10 raise for the month, you know what I'm saying?
This is assuming that... this conversation. Anyway. I'm not gonna sit here and explain why. I don't need that like random 1,000 viewers on my stream.
Listen,
all these
you
people like,
said-
what's this game? Can you tell me what this game's about? I like your voice. Like, fuck off.
Listen, I'm not telling you have to. You asked. You made fun of me because I put it on TikTok. I thought it was appropriate.
The entire tone of this discussion is because I thought that I would be able to avoid that word.
Your face ever showing up on TikTok?
That word ever appearing in my live stream. I thought that, I could avoid that, but you've robbed me of that.
Well, I am terribly sorry I have let you down. I'm a bad friend. I don't even know your birthday.
That's true.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a callback.
You actually... Oh, never mind. I thought that was a mount. I was going to attribute that mount to you, actually, because you had upswung me, which resulted in a double...
How exactly do I upswing you with a fucking sword and shield?
What you need to understand, Ethan, and I think we've had this conversation before, is that you are not to use Round Force 3 online.
I don't have Round Force 3 on.
How the fuck was I upswung then?
Not me.
How is that... The other two people are using a bow gun, Ethan.
Could it be that the monster upswung you?
No.
I don't have Round Force 3.
I'm telling you, someone using a Blade Master weapon, of which there is only one besides myself in this hunt, upswung me with their weapon.
You must have upswung yourself.
Okay. Look,
listen, I'm not sure. I will take responsibility if it will make you feel better, but I swear to you right now, I have Sword Dance 3 and Chaos Oil, and I didn't use either of them in that moment.
Okay. Well, okay. What this means is that there is a hidden ability of the Sword and Shield to upswing players, and I'm not about to make sense of it, but that's what happened. We can review the tape, we can check the footage after the stream. Be great if we could do it now, because Twitch sucks, we can't really, so...
P-Berry, it's not about the size of the Rathlos, you know what I mean? It's about the motion of the wings. You feel me?
Are you going to try and relate that to human interaction in some way?
They know what I'm talking about.
Sure. Yeah. The motion of the wings?
Mm-hmm. Not about size of the Rathalos, it's about the roar. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. See, that's a little better. Motion of the wings was a little bit tenuous. But I'd say the roar is a bit better.
Well, if you understood where it was coming from in my brain, you wouldn't think it was tenuous.
Okay.
Because the original expression is it's not about the size of the boat, it's about the motion of the ocean. So, like...
Oh, I see.
I had to get from point A to point B.
Oh, I see.
And I just kind of used... I was lazy with the template. I used the template for it, alright?
Fair enough.
Thanks for calling me out, bro.
What, me or someone in the chat?
You.
Me?
Called
No,
me right
I wasn't.
out. You were like...
No, it wasn't that I was calling you out. I was trying to, meet you halfway and be like, oh, nice joke, Ethan. But I didn't get it.
Right.
So it wasn't about...
I felt that.
Well, yeah, I wasn't trying to call you out. You know I wouldn't do that.
Whoa. that read, bro.
See, I'm glad you're sensitive to things like that.
I wasn't trying to call you out. You know I'd never do that.
Mm-hmm.
It blows my mind that after all this time of us being friends and me coming onto your live stream, I know I've gone to the bathroom before, like, from your stream, and you have still yet to give in and just tell your audience that I'm pooping.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, our humor intersects from time to time. Like, we can share a laugh about certain things, but there's nothing... Like, yeah, I probably have a cheeky streak, like I can take advantage
should
of
wipe it.
opportunities that a cheeky streak, as it were.
Yeah, you should maybe wipe that.
Okay, that one I can appreciate. And what's creepy is that it becomes cutesy if you're using the word cheeky in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And it almost sounds like something you'd say to a toddler, and it just makes it more gross and also funnier.
Man.
Anyway, like I'm all for
streak.
I'm all for taking opportunities for humor, but that sort of thing does not even enter my mind. Like, I don't sit here and go, "Oh, I'm gonna tell the audience he's pooping because that's funny." Like, it doesn't enter my mind.
It is funny, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't really think I want to give this guy the opportunity to post again because I don't think he deserves it, you know?
Oh my god, dude, I have so many sets that I've been working on here, obviously. I even
This is
got
the thing.
gun lance on here.
The only reason why I'm not doing a specific quest for Ethan right now is because we just came on. It's been ages since we last played. I think it would take some time for us to work out what precisely he was working on. It's a little bit too much effort, so better to just hunt random stuff.
Yeah, bro.
Yamatori, if you want to post something, you are welcome to do so.
Yeah. Take advantage of these fucking ace hunters while you can, dog.
He's the second highest hunter rank in the room, and you're the lowest.
Well, I would like to cordially invite you to eat my ass.
To be fair, you are probably infinitely better than that YWM guy, so no matter how out of practice you are, I think the strength of your experience would still put you ahead of him in a comparison.
Really? Yeah.
If that makes you feel any better.
It does, a little bit, yeah. I'm going Charge Blade. I haven't played Charge Blade in a hot minute. Oh wait, does that mean I have to go change my... I don't think I have to.
Peaberry has made a formal request for us to hunt an Astalos. I can't promise we'll do it immediately, but I will keep that in mind. Because I like him too. I'd say he's my favorite of the Fated Four.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
No.
You know what? Everyone
Glavenus.
reacts in that way.
Glavenus.
Oh, come on.
Glavenus all day, dude.
No. He's too...
Glavenus is such a unique and
yeah,
cool
he's cool.
monster.
No. No. He's not unique and cool.
Okay.
He's cool. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. I will amend that. He is cool, but he's not unique.
How is he not
He is a
unique?
tail... Okay. In the first instance, he's a tail-focused monster. He is literally just an alternative version of a Duramboros. He's a faster Duramboros with a blade for a tail instead of a hammer. You get what I'm saying? Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but he's got a pretty standard body type and visual appearance for a Monster Hunter in a Monster Hunter game.
Are you body
Or for a
shaming
monster.
him?
Yeah, I'm body shaming him. No, actually, to be honest, he is slimmer than Duramboros.
Hold
Think
on, I
about
have to shame one of your viewers. How dare you? How dare you put Glavenus in third place?
No, interestingly enough, I entirely agree with Peaberry's ranking of the
First of
Fated
all,
Four.
Mizu is better than Astalos. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But it's
Well,
Glavenus,
I like them
Mizu,
equally.
Astalos, then Gammoth.
I'm glad we can all agree that Gammoth is the one that comes last in all comparisons.
Y'all are crazy, dude. Y'all are
No,
nutty.
look, Glavenus is cool, okay? I don't think there's any... I would not agree with the assessment from Tal that Glavenus is corny. I think he's cool. I can understand how you can sit there and look at that and say that it's corny, but I can't understand how you could look at that, say it's corny, and then enjoy Monster Hunter. Because you have to have some suspension of disbelief. You have to get in there. You have to enjoy the animated, I guess, anime-style monsters, which Glavenus is. Like, think about it.
Wait, hold on. He's an anime-style monster in your approximation?
He fucking puts his tail in his teeth, spins around, swings it. Like, he's very dynamic, very anime-esque. Probably not to the standard that Frontier would set for an anime style monster, but
No, I guess that's fair, because like the non-anime version of him would probably be like an Anjanath. You know what
that's
I mean?
right. Yeah. Well, that's the best
Um,
comparison to make. And to be honest, I would always compare, back when World came out, Anjanath to Glavenus, because really Anjanath is the boring version. Now, what that translates to is that Anjanath is the monster designed for a more westernized, I hesitate to
Those
use
are
the word realistic, monster.
cowboy
Again,
dinosaurs.
sure. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Thanks for the further clarification on that point.
You're welcome.
But the
You're welcome. I speak American, sir. I can help you when you let me. You got any of them there cowboy dinosaurs?
Wait, did I say Americanized instead of westernized? Oh, no. Yeah, sorry.
I don't
just
know if you
caught
said
up to the
westernized or Americanized.
I'm pretty sure I said westernized, and then you took that to mean the Wild West. That's all right. I'm just catching up with the joke that you made.
No,
because
I
I'm
wasn't.
slow.
I was literally just saying like it's a. You said westernized. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like if it's an Americanized dinosaur. In other words, like you're saying, okay, this is the anime version and this is the more boring one. It's like, all right, this is something that's like dusty and like you could see it in an old fucking saloon, you know, an old
Yeah.
engine
No, fair enough.
Pass me a beverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really fighting through tired Ethan right now. I don't know if you can tell.
No, I can't. You're doing a very good job, and I would implore you to continue doing it.
Okay, I will keep it up.
You're doing a good job. Whoa. Yamatori was nice enough to post an Astalos upon P-Berry's request in the chat.
What a sweetie pie.
Yeah.
Despite how whack his, Well, actually, never mind. He wasn't one of them that said that.
No. No,
Yeah, no,
Yamatori
yeah,
has not
never
been
mind.
able to chat very much. He's been too busy.
Yeah, all
carrying
he did
our
was
asses.
shake his head.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, you know? Somebody out here is saying Glavenus is a goober. Like,
I don't think anyone even... No, well, I suppose Tal implied that he was a goober by saying that he was corny, so...
I
Indirectly,
can't see this
yeah.
monster in this environment. This is ridiculous. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
see
pretty
anything.
bad. But think about it, that makes sense for him to be here then, doesn't it? What he's...
Was he hiding from
camoufla-
his natural predator?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was about to question myself on that, because, like, what would he be hiding from? But still,
I'll tell you
it
what,
does make
though,
sense.
he is a cool monster. I am not going to say he's not a cool monster. He certainly is a cool monster. I just...
You know what it is?
You know what I think it is?
What?
Go ahead.
What I
No,
was going to say
because-
was, okay, when he dies, check out his wings. He's got these very insectoid wings, and when they catch the light, they've got a rainbow sheen to them. It's little details like that, and I love that he's got an axe on his head, and I love his thunder moves, and just the way he slams his wings. I just really like how he works as a monster. He's really interesting.
And what I was going to say is, in order to express with, like, you know, obviously these particular textures are not super extremely detailed, but, like, one of the ways that they use to express the fact that he is an electric dragonfly dragon is with the overuse of particle effects and a bunch of weird, like, crystalline areas of his body. And I think that this monster would have been way cooler without all of the, like... He looks like a fucking Bionicle.
That's actually fair enough. He
know?
does look like a bionicle.
And I just don't know how to unsee it.
I had never even dreamed of making that comparison, but you're dead right. He does look like one. Oh my god.
You know who doesn't look like a Bionicle?
I have to tell you that that's a really scathing criticism of anything. To say that it looks like a bionicle, I mean.
Well, it's not my fault.
Oh shit. See, this is what you have no fucking sense of romance, Ethan. You look at this monster and go, "That looks like a fucking barnacle." Like, come on, man. You gotta,
like a bionicle, dude.
you gotta get
You're
into
gonna
it.
blame me?
Yeah.
Dude,
You gotta take it
Glavenus
for what it
cool,
is.
All I'm saying. I'm
Look-
not saying he's not a cool monster. Bionicles are cool, you know. But like,
They were
I don't
cool
know.
at one time. Just like Beyblades were cool at one time.
hold on, Beyblades are cool. At all
No,
times.
okay.
Let me just
Look,
really,
I will fight you on that one. Look, I was willing
good.
to...
swim your
You're gonna
ass
tell
over
me-
here. Take me down.
You're gonna tell me that you're still getting involved in the fucking North American Beyblade Championships and you've got...
I actually cast for them.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like
I
you fucking
announced-
sit
I
there and
announced
say,
the-
look at that spin. He's
Yeah.
got some real speed on that one. Look at it
Yeah.
travel.
You know what? I was actually just the other day. I was walking through a game store because I was going to do a Magic the Gathering draft, and I was trying to figure out a way that you could create a remote control Beyblade.
I'm
like,
sure
in my
someone's done-
mind,
I'm
I
sure
was
they
like,
checked for
I wa-
that. And I'm sure they did at the time.
Why wouldn't they let somebody do that competitively?
No.
Like that makes no sense. It's like, oh man, what if we like made it just like the show? Nah, let's just make it tops.
No. This is like, okay, well, if we're going to compare it to the show, I guess it would be unreasonable to say as a comparison that why don't we just let people not shuffle their decks when playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But, you know, I feel like the point of it... Okay, look, at the end of the day, I didn't watch the show. I'm going to just make that clear to start with. But it makes sense to have an element of chance involved.
That's not how the show works, sir.
Okay, well, maybe
The
it would
show
be
worked like
unrealistic for
They said- hold
kids
on.
in the fucking playground, you know, in the fucking
no.
schoolyard.
This is how it worked. This is how it worked.
Okay.
In the show, there was a kid that said, "Let it rip," and then he would like spin his. No, shut up. And
No
listen.
wonder I didn't watch it.
He would say, "Let it rip," and then like the Beyblade would come out, and then there was a dragon that lived inside the Beyblade, and he'd be like, "Go get him, Dragoon!" and he'd use the dragon like a
sounds-
Pokemon. Like he
It
would.
sounds
he would
totally
be like,
practical. Yeah, why do we use
Attack!
Pokemon cards? Why don't we just put little animals in balls? Pokemon cards suck, man. Fuck that.
That's quite a take, sir. I mean, I don't know how it has anything to do with what I was describing, but
What it has to do with that it has to be made practical for kids to play with. And
yeah, a
making it remote control. I mean,
top.
this is not 2022. Like, we're talking about like the early 2000s. Everyone's gonna get their fucking remote control thing.
Dude,
and-
Beyblades exist in 2022.
Come on. You're
Don't
you're
come
gonna,
on me.
You're gonna fucking tell me that people
There's
get out
brand
their
new
Beyblade.
Beyblades that come out, yeah, every single year, bro. Brand new,
This is
hot off the Beyblade printing press.
I don't think we've had a conversation quite this embarrassing in a long time. The notion
what?
that people are gonna get out their Beyblades in 2022. Next, you're gonna tell me that what's another? You're
There
gonna get out your
are-
fucking
there
Tamagotchi.
are-
You're gonna get out your Tamagotchi, are you?
Well, first of all,
Okay.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there are Tamagotchis in 2022 as well, and they are
Okay.
updated.
Why? Surely not as
Because-
actual standalone devices. Surely as like a
Yes.
phone. No. Why? That's literally that is aggressively resisting the progress of technological innovation in the world. That's like, no, we can't have this as a phone app. This has to be
No,
like,
it's just
imagine
people
having
capitalizing on nostalgia.
no. What, are you telling me like 30-year-old men are walking around
Whoa.
with the
I don't like the way you just callously threw out 30-year-old
No.
men, bro.
No, I'm saying in the context of
Did you
getting
forget how
a
old
little
I was?
pet. I'm talking... No, not at all. I wouldn't imagine that you're going to take to work your little fucking pet on your standalone machine and, like, look after it, okay? I can't imagine that. What, you do that?
No, I don't have a Tamagotchi. But I know that they exist, bro. I don't know anyone in my
But
age
they
group
can't
that
capitalize on nostalgia if people are not going to freaking... Like, why? Why? No one would do that. No one would take it to work and just be like, how you doing this morning, creature? And feed it or whatever you did with it. I can't even remember now. What did people do with it? I just...
Nowadays, all the... yeah, never mind. I'm gonna keep that thought on the inside.
Well, next you're going to tell me people are bringing back pet rocks and whatever else. Have you got a pet rock, Ethan?
I don't have a pet rock.
Well, now that I've put it in your head, maybe you're going to suddenly fucking go out looking for one.
Hold on, let me think if I have anything that is, like, close to a pet rock.
Oh my god. It is extremely hot, by the way, I have to make an admission. It has nothing to do with the conversation we're having, it has everything to do with the fact that this jacket is inappropriate for the current turn in Australian weather away from winter.
Take off the jacket, let us see those sultry shoulders.
No, what you have to understand is that my setup is so crammed that I can't so much as take off my jacket on camera, so... I'm gonna have to disappear from...
Through it.
No, I'm gonna take it off, but I'm gonna disappear from the camera briefly. And that's your opportunity to say that I'm pooping, and then when I come back after about 10 seconds, that will be your opportunity to say, whoa, that was a quick poop, Doomlink. And then we can share a laugh and continue.
Well, I honestly think it's a little selfish of you to just completely toss that. No, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I think it's a little selfish of you to remove the opportunity your viewers have to see you seductively taking off a jacket just because it might bump into something.
No, what you need to understand is that it cannot be taken off seductively if I'm like bumping into a boom stand,
that you should let us be the judge of that.
No, quite frankly, I think it's okay if they don't see that.
Yeah, well, let's poll our audience here. Oh, I'm seeing some dissent.
Oh. Off camera.
The sound.
We're back.
Outer space.
I dropped it. I threw it on the ground, that's what I did. It's because I can't access anything to put it on because my green screen's in the way, okay?
Get those shoulders.
So it's going on the ground. Ethan, do you have any requests as far as monsters are concerned?
Freebird.
What?
Oh, hold on. Well, I don't know. What were we fucking doing?
Well, this is the thing. I don't think this is the occasion to be working that out. I think it will take too long.
Well, then let me just look at quests. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Hunt of the day? What is this?
I think that means that if you hunt that monster, you'll get bonus rewards. It doesn't have to be a specific quest as long as it's that monster.
Those look fucking lame, to be really honest with you.
It's not a quest list. Or is it?
No, there's a quest list. There's some quests on there.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was kind of doing, to be honest. I was working through all of my like talking boxes, like the little boxes where people talk. You know the ones?
No. Oh, you mean people who want to talk to you?
Yeah, like the little chat boxes that show up on quests. Yeah,
no,
I mean,
wait,
I was
on
working
quests
through those.
or?
Yeah. if
Oh,
you're on
you mean the
quest
villager
screen,
requests?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was knocking those
Well,
out slowly when I didn't
happy
have
to
any.
do
I
that.
didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing those.
What is the quest in question?
Oh, I got us hunting a hyper laggy.
It sounds like good fun to me. This guy, however, was not feeling a Lagiacruz right now.
Who's that?
The guy that we're not going to miss. Now that he's gone.
Oh no! What's your name?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be Charge Blade buddies with you.
Oh, this is awkward.
Why's that?
I'm switching up.
Hello?
I'm kidding. I'll stay at Charge Blade.
Well, you had already accepted the quest. It would be unrealistic to assume that you were going to cancel the quest.
I think you underestimate just how willing I am to cancel a quest.
Is it going to be a paradigm-shifting realization when I see you take off that quest?
Look at this guy. Look
this
at
guy's
this
got,
fucking guy.
Well, this guy's got such a weird character that it's not even recognized by the console.
I think my friend finally ditched the chat.
Well, she hung around for how long? I didn't see a message from her recently.
Nah, she's been gone for a minute.
That's fine. I can't imagine we're that entertaining, are we?
We're fucking hilarious, first of all. Let's just get that real straight.
Was expecting some self-denying ordnance there, but perhaps not.
What?
Some fucking humility? Anyway. Hello? Don't leave me hanging.
I'm done. I literally was like reading something and you're just like, everybody's just ready to go.
Oh, yes. Yes, possible. She left after I didn't block
Ivan. Call you petty.
She called me petty for deleting that guy, but I didn't block him. We have to make that very clear.
One fucking mission without it being on this level? My god, dude.
I think this is the second one, Ethan. But yeah, I didn't block that guy. He is perfectly welcome to question me on deleting him from my friends list. And I'll give him a straight answer. And if he's got a problem, he can take it up with the fucking thought police, you know? I love the look of this sword. You have to admit that's very cool.
What?
Unsheathe your weapon and look at the sword.
The sword that we were using?
Yes.
It's aight, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Perfect guard point.
Wish I'd caught it on camera. I was just standing there stupidly being affected by the roar. Because I forgot I didn't have the old high-grade earplugs.
Yeah, bro, nothing better.
I was
nothing better than it. The best part about using this weapon is a good old-fashioned high guard point. They're so satisfying. Hey, how you doing?
I feel like we're in a competitive Charge Blade relationship. I can't fucking shield that fast enough.
Oh, I'm dead, bro.
The fact that you're not dead after that is extraordinary.
Yeah. I'm too powerful. He can't take me down. I'm gonna use a shock trap, okay?
You are well within your rights to do that.
Oh, I thought you were gonna correct me and call me stupid because he's electric and it wouldn't work.
That's not my style of humor. Because I wouldn't want someone to think that I actually
No, they have to. No, they have to be Asian for that to be funny, right?
You know, if we get to aggressive about the Asian jokes, it's going to actually become racist. Like, if we just sit here making jokes about Asians all day, it's gonna become like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's at what point is it not a meme? You know?
Well, you're on the precipice of it becoming not that.
Well, to be fair, I am exhausted, and I'm running out of funny shit to say.
That's alright. The beauty is when you don't try. That's when the good stuff comes.
Sure. I'm about to put a nullberry in my mouth.
Why that had to be so seductive, I'll never know.
I'm gonna die. Oh my gosh. No.
Well, there were 2 people at risk of dying, and you were not one of them, so... There you go.
Oh, hello? Energy blade? Yeet?
That didn't look very impactful. Take that!
Oh yeah, back in the day, my old anime voice acting attacks.
Well, you could have been one of the voice actors for Monsanto Ride.
This is for my fellow hunters!
Exactly. So you say that you're exhausted, but you're now channeling your inner... Oh fuck, I shouldn't have done Ripper Shield. Oh, never mind, I had a gun.
I am exhausted. Don't get it twisted. You'll hear it every now and then, right at the end of something that I'm saying, because my voice will just go like...
Well, I'm worried that you've now just sacrificed, like, maybe 10 minutes of your waking time. The time that you can spend for that one outburst of pure, unfettered cringe.
That's a reasonable fear. I'm going to be honest with you. But hey, I don't think that you have anything to worry about, little guy. I think that you're safe.
Oh, now I never knew this, but Peaberry says that one of the voice lines for carving in Rise is, "Daddy needs a new pair of boots."
Cap. I'm calling cap on that one. There's no way.
I trust him. He's not the type to make jokes like that. He's probably, like, serious. And I, to be honest, can see it. I can believe it. I can actually visualize it.
The level of meta that is like... That's actual cringe. That's not, like, funny cringe. That's regular cringe.
Yeah, which is the sort of thing that causes you physical pain. And
yeah, like, when you watch somebody, like... accidentally hit their balls on like a grind.
Similar to that. Oh, is that gonna hit me? No. Are we actually going to fail this fucking quest? This isn't even the event one. There's an event one of these, you know. This is the easy one.
We're not gonna fail.
Okay.
You're not gonna fail.
As long as you can assure me that we'll survive.
Relax,
and
handsome.
Succeed. Okay.
I'll take care. I've got this. I'll take care.
You have... Okay. Well, now I feel thoroughly reassured. Holy shit.
You should. Because I have a secret.
Which is?
I am not left-handed.
Well, I'm sure you made some reference to right-handedness, but I didn't catch it. But I appreciate the effort, man.
That's from The Princess Bride, bro.
Oh, you know how long ago it was when I saw that fucking movie? You think I remember every line spoken in that bloody movie? I only remember the "You killed my father, prepare to die." Everything else is a fucking blur, man.
Well, it's very quotable, and that was one of those quotes.
Okay.
Wait, what are you sending me a video of?
He was angrily responding to your accusation that he was either joking or lying about that being a legitimate voice line in Rise.
Oh, yeah, my bad, bro. I didn't want to believe how cringe that would be. Like, that's embarrassing.
Well, I don't
Like,
want to hear it. Seeing it written is actually bad enough.
Brett. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Get wrecked. I told you, Daddy's on the job.
Don't start. You can't sit there and say how cringe it is and then proceed to do a similar voice line. I mean, spare my live stream.
I said Daddy's on the job, okay? If you're gonna freak out every time someone calls themselves Daddy, you're not gonna survive in 2022. That's all I'm saying.
I don't mind perishing in this environment. I
Yeah,
probably
me
don't
neither.
have what it takes, to be honest. But anyway.
Oh no. Oh my. I'm gonna get out of here. Oh.
Yeah, there's no margin for... Oh! I just witnessed Lagio Cruz raising his back legs to what I suspected was going to be fart on me, but...
How about we cap
it's
him?
not. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Just to
That's
be
not
safe.
Not a bad idea at all. We just have to try and not die in the process.
Yeah.
If we can manage that. Yes. Oh,
Wait, do we have flashes?
possibly. I'm just going to get right in there, you know. Oh. Well, the pre-tranking is appreciated, but we do need to get
Wait,
that
did
trap.
did I?
If you thought that he was in a trap when you threw those...
No. I just didn't know if I was like messing you up.
no. I was
Wrecked.
messed up by the monster. I mean, it is obviously advised to stand some distance away from the monster while dropping the trap, but I wanted to play it risky and dangerous like. Which was a bad idea.
I forgot how to ping.
So I think we had approximately 6 tranks go out. So we
Oh,
are
you
still going to
dig
need
that.
one more. Believe it or not. Maybe even 2 at this stage, if it takes too long. What is going on? Get over here.
Where are you going, big guy?
This is Generations Ultimate. You can't jump into the water, unfortunately. You're not permitted to do that.
Yeah.
Finally.
Oh, what the hell?
2 fucking tranks after all that. How many would drop before he got in there? And he still needed 2 when he finally got in? That's atrocious. That's an embarrassment to the team. I'm putting it out there.
He's a tough boy.
He's not tough, I think. He's just a normal monster. I think we need to up our game.
He wasn't normal, he was hyper.
That's fair enough, but I thought you meant he was tough in reference to the fact that he took effectively 8 tranks to be successfully captured, but that was entirely our fault. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, we were dying pretty good.
Did I
Did
get
I just
2
get-
ocean peroxine or 2 mantles?
I just got a mantle.
I got 2 ocean peroxine and a mantle. There you go.
I also got 2 ocean peroxine.
See, it's because we're both using the same charge blade. Wow, just got a pretty nice talisman. Recovery level +6, defense +13. That's a pretty good one.
Not bad.
Can't sniff at that.
That's just a free defense up small.
It's very close to being a free defense up medium. Anyone can spare, like... Well, I suppose it's 2 decoration slots no matter what.
What weapon shall I use?
Weapon time.
I'll throw the options up here. I'm not using a gun lance right now because I just don't trust myself. But fire charge blade, something called Apex Predator. I guess that's a raw. No, that's water.
I have told the third player, the guy whose name that I could not even begin to either write or pronounce. I've informed them that they can post. What I'm going to do in the meantime is actually go to the bathroom and probably get a bit of wine. I'll be back in a moment.
Guys, he's pooping. So I'd let everybody know. That's definitely a thick turd, for sure. Oh, somebody sent me a clip. Hold up. Hold up. Let me check that bad boy out. Daddy. That can't be real. That's terrible. Oh, good lord. That's actually alarming and upsetting. Oh. Did not feel good to watch that. I wonder if there's any, like, players that genuinely use that. The voiceovers. That's true, you told me. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't believe. I don't want to believe, to be honest. It was upsetting just to think about it, you know? And here I am, living in those consequences. I'm living in a post-Daddy needs a new pair of boots world. And I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready.
I'm sorry to hear that. You didn't have to subject yourself to that, you know.
He sent me a video. I wanted to be respectful. I wanted to peep it,
Okay.
you know, to see.
Well, he told you what it was, so you could have just said, hey, look, I've got nothing against you or the fact that you've sent me a video, but I don't need this in my life. But you didn't have the strength of character. What's going on with this guy? I feel bad for him. Like, you know why he left, guys? You know why he left? I'm just going to make this very clear. When I sat back down in this chair, I witnessed the fact that both of you had failed to join up on his quest. And I realized that was going to give him second thoughts. He's going to sit there and be like, oh, maybe they don't want to do my quest. And you know what's happened? You know what's happened? He's left. He's left us. Oh, I weep for the poor boy.
Yeah.
He's got a curfew.
Right. Can you hear it?
No.
You can't hear me playing my tiny violin?
I'll try and remember that one so I can ruin your joke next time.
Wait, why is my raw sword and shield look icy? What's going on here? What is this?
What are you talking about? That is an ice sword and shield.
Why is it? It's labeled raw.
You do realize that you can't label weapons.
Okay.
For one reason or another, you've selected, or you've registered your raw set with an elemental weapon.
I have, yeah. Which is really weird.
Unfortunately, I can't account for that. That's for past Ethan to explain to current Ethan.
Yeah, he's probably drunk.
Or stupid.
What is the raw sword shield?
I don't remember us making one. I don't think I would have advised you to make one because I had never made one myself. Until very recently. I didn't realize that there was actually an Acantor sword and shield. Originally there wasn't one. But they made one here, and it's very ugly, but it works well enough, I guess.
Well, what are we hunting? So I know what to pick.
Your favorite monster?
Is he weak against ice or water?
Water.
Oh.
Do you know what monster I mean when I say your favorite?
Yeah, Glavenus.
No.
Wait, my favorite monster of all time?
No, I just meant the... You were right, okay? Does that make you happy?
What my favorite monster is.
Well, neither do I. I wouldn't
probably
be
Laggy.
Really?
Yeah, he's probably my favorite of all time.
Well, he's definitely up there for every person who played Try.
That's me, baby. I was terrified. The first time I interacted with him, I was very incompetent, had no idea how this game worked. And when it said, hey, you should run, I was like, who you telling, bro? Like, you thought I was going to fight this thing? You crazy. Oh, kick him. Kick him. Level 36,
What?
get out of here. You're not ready.
I have limited it to HR 13. Well,
That's not
the...
HR 13.
What's going on? Wow. He is speaking in a language that is not entirely legible. Here we go. Ki Dai Wo Tang Lang Ma. Okay. Now, I don't know what the fuck that means, but...
You should Google translate that. Hold on, I will.
Do
Get that
detect
open.
language, I don't think that's Mandarin. I don't know what that is, but it sounds more like a Southeast Asian language, to be honest. Actually, No, actually, I think that might be Mandarin. Especially the Ma part, you know.
It is Mandarin.
Yamator is like, speak English. Wow. Speak English? What if he can't? He's doing his best. You know what? He's been nice enough. He's gonna leave because you told him that. Look. Oh, never mind. I thought he was going to the quest giver to remove his quest. Anyway, no, he's been nice enough to actually type it out in
Hold on.
Hindu Arabic lettering so that we can Google Translate it.
Translate. Intertext. Wait, I need you to
Hello,
open
Benny.
it up again.
Oh my god. Whatever he's actually said, it's not going to be worth this amount of effort, but go for it, brother.
Yeah, except for if he has the secrets to life in the universe.
Passed down from the ancient Wang
what did he
dynasty.
say? What was it?
You can read it, man. Do I need to spell
I
it?
can't. Oh
Why?
my god. Oh, by the
my
way,
God.
why are you in the literal middle of your screen right now?
Thanks for reminding me, but I was in the literal middle of my screen as you describe it, so that everyone could read the chat and appreciate what was being said in the chat. You know what I mean?
Is the KE generation my mantis? That's what he said.
Well, he's exited the game, so
Well, he had a curfew, so
we have established this, yeah.
yeah.
It did take us a while. I mean, it took us a whole 2 minutes, which is an eternity for these people. I mean, you all think it's a bit of a joke. No, I'm telling you, they're all leaving because their internet's getting cut off. You've played enough video game today. So...
Yeah, I'm the problem, bro.
Not you. Anyway.
Where is this thing at, bro? Also, why are you fighting with a butt plug right now?
I mean, some people would say a grenade on a stick, but apparently you've got a slightly more, I don't know, vulgar imagination?
Yeah, it looks like a butt plug, bro.
Okay, it's a pretty fucking long butt plug. Usually they're supposed to be short to sort of sit in there, you know?
Yamatori, do you want us to just chill while you take this thing down? Because, I mean, like, yo.
Now, you don't need to start gushing about it.
Bruh, he's straight. Absolutely giga chatting this Glavenus right now.
Yes, Beta, you are free and in fact encouraged to join the room if you would like to do so. Oh, almost ran out of time to get that counter there. That was a nasty little situation.
I don't know why I went with a sword and shield to fight this guy. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, not a great choice. What were your options again? Sword and shield, charge blade, what else? Anything else?
Yeah, I had the bowgun, light bowgun.
Oh, the
Pierce.
Solcia light bowgun?
Yeah.
Wow. You passed up a great opportunity. It is what it is.
I don't think I wish that I could enjoy longsword like other people do, man. I really do. I've never been able to enjoy it. I don't know.
You're not missing out on that much. It's, to be honest, I don't feel like I need to use it very much at all. I enjoy it, but it's usually what I use if I just want to be really mindless for a quest, you know? Like, oh, I hit monster and monster in pain sort of thing.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Sword and Shield. Like, it's my easy dub. Well, at least it's my easy dub when I'm playing with people. If I'm soloing, you have to actually take the Sword and Shield, and that's fun. Oh, I'm gonna eat that.
P-Berry is further asserting in the chat that this is the third worst Fated 4 monster.
P-Berry is the first worst chatter. Get wrecked.
Oh, gosh. Wow. Not pulling any punches today.
What's next? Is he gonna trash Rock Lee?
I think he's learnt that to be a... Well, he's discovered that that is an unwise course of action.
Yeah. Apparently my feelings are just a joke to you people. Oh man, he looks so angry.
I don't quite understand how a grenade would produce water element. You'd think it would have blast, but...
Well, I don't know if you've seen My Hero Academia.
No,
but,
have not.
Alright, so get this.
After my time.
The one that has explosion powers, he wears these grenades on his hands, but you know why he has powers?
Why is the grass green, Ethan?
What?
Why he has powers?
Why? So he has powers because of his sweat. He has explosion powers because
No, that's not the question to ask. It's like, what are his powers, or from where does he derive his powers? Not why does he have powers? That's a much wider, all-encompassing question.
Thank you for the lesson on semantics.
No, but like, why is his sweat so powerful?
He's trained his sweat glands.
That's both gross
that's a real
and...
thing. That's a real thing.
Gross. Why his sweat gland? What prompted him to do that? Does he just sweat profusely in his natural state and he thought, I can make use of this somehow?
No, he sweats nitroglycerin and he can make it explode. That's it.
Okay.
He has explosion. He combusts. That's his whole thing.
Hello, Baines. Good to see you.
I have no idea where I'm going. Okay, I'm on my way. Tell everybody.
Well, you made the mistake of following Yamatori, who made the mistake of directly following the monster.
Yeah, should never directly follow the monster, apparently.
Well, only because it would make no sense for him to rotate in Area 9. I mean, we're not dealing with that much damage. I wish we were, but we're not. I very rarely see him hop back like that. Have you seen him do that recently? Like just a natural hop back animation like he's a fucking Rajan. That's bizarre.
I'm eating a well-done steak. Give me a moment. Oh, that was so good.
I'm glad you're basically self-inserting.
Jesus, he takes so much damage.
He deals so much damage.
Wow. He's not allowed to talk to me. Everyone just makes fun of the things I think.
No, it's not.
You know? I'm not among friends.
I think you would want me to correct you if you hadn't realized that you had misspoken.
No, you're right. I definitely, I, for sure. For sure. I would feel silly if I made that mistake consistently. You know?
I'm about to get a tail in the face.
You know, it's nice.
It's me looking out for you.
It deals a big man to tell a man when he's incorrect about his grammar.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say that's grammatical. That's more like just using the wrong word unintentionally.
What would you call it if it was intentional?
Willful illiteracy.
So if I say like, yo, that's cap.
I was going to comment on that. You seem to have like a whole, I don't know, subcategory of English that I don't understand, but I can make sense of it through context.
I have been slowly adopting some Zoomer speak.
Yeah, it's pretty scary actually.
No, it's fun, man. It's fun to say.
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cringe, but it is fun to say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, saying cap is a good time. You should try it sometime.
You know what else is fun? Fucking mainlining hard drugs.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah? I have never done that.
Well, fun is not always what you should pursue. There are other factors at play here.
Oh. What are the other factors?
Dignity?
I'm not doing any fucking damage to this thing, dude. I've literally been just healing myself every 20 seconds.
That's fine.
He does so much damage.
He does.
I'm sorry, pardon me.
I'm wondering
He
how your
deals.
defense is. No, okay.
He deals so much damage.
Isn't that what... Didn't you say he does so much damage? I mean, that's fine.
I did.
Well, that's not incorrect. It's just, you know, could have been better expressed, which you did do, but you weren't correcting yourself per se. You were refining what had already been said. Anyway, the point is that, or the point that I was trying to make before you started nitpicking your own sentences, was that you you may not have fully upgraded your armor. Because, yeah, he does hurt a lot, but if you haven't fully upgraded your armor, it's only going to hurt more.
Ooh, there's a pointless Hobbit storyline?
You see, there's a real issue here with the way you phrase that, Potato. The issue is with the use of the word yet. Now, I have not seen Rings of Power yet.
Implies, however, that I am going to watch it at some point.
Yes.
Which I do not intend to.
Thank you.
Thought I'd finish that up for you.
Yeah, I was actually going to not, because it was obvious, but it actually helps when you spell it out, because it's funnier that way. When it is spelled out, it's funnier, but if I were to do it, it would be a little redundant and unnecessary. I do mean that genuinely. You're like my little sentence finisher.
Yeah. This thing will not go down, bro. I was thinking about watching it, but from what I've read online, it's just like a bunch of people are just mad and saying it deviates from the source material and stuff. Like talking about how Gandalf. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
want to spoil. I don't want to spoil anything.
Spoil it for the people
It's been
who are...
spoiled for me, but I don't want to spoil it for
Yeah.
other people. That's just rude. I haven't sat down and watched the new Game of Thrones yet either.
Well, I haven't watched Game of Thrones in over 10 years, so you tell me if I'm going to watch the spin-off.
Yes.
Bum, bum.
You're not gonna watch it?
No, I don't
I
watch
probably won't watch
TV
it,
anyway.
to be honest. I don't have a whole lot of interest in watching it. It does have Matt Smith in it, and I do love Matt Smith. For sure, but...
Is it just me? Okay, let's have a discussion about something.
Yeah.
This is quite topical, given that you've just said that you were willing to watch this because there's a particular person playing a role in this movie. You watch a lot of movies, not a huge number, but you definitely watch movies and you care about them.
I do.
For me, as a person who does not watch many movies, I think it's a little weird. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I think it's a little weird to be able to identify an actor in a role and then watch a movie because that actor is in it. Because if I start to identify the person and I go, oh, that's a great actor, I want to see this movie because that actor is in the movie, it takes me out of the movie because I'm looking at the man or the woman involved instead of the character. You know what I mean? And I start to sit there and I go, oh, that was well acted, or oh, it's great how he's doing this in this certain way in this scene. That's sort of different to other characters he's done before. You're literally looking at it from this... I'm sure you can probably put yourself in two minds and appreciate the actual scene being portrayed and then simultaneously think about, you know, the actor and all the things that go into it. But in my opinion, it's immersion breaking if you intimately know the actor and you've seen them in so many other movies. Like, I remember, for example, I went on a short rant about this while playing Mario Kart, and there was a, God, what was the actor? It was Matt Damon. Like some fucking guy on Mario Kart had named themselves Matt Damon and had a Matt Damon meme, and I went into a rant. I was basically going into a tirade about how, you know, who the fuck would watch a movie because Matt Damon's in it? Like, why do I want to see Matt Damon? I want to see a character. I don't give a fuck about Matt Damon. My point is that I'm here to watch a movie, not watch a person. Would you be able to shed some light on this whole thing and maybe offer some insights?
Here's I think for me, the reason that I can enjoy a movie when there's a specific character in it is because, or when there's a specific actor in it, is because actors are flavors. And it's a very, I want to say it's a Western thing. It might not be, but we kind of get attached to our favorite actors. And then, like, when they show up, and for instance, like, I'm a huge fan of Chris Pratt. Everything Chris Pratt does, I'm like, all right, I'm ready. Like, I'll keep that. Like, I want to watch it and just see. And it's pretty much always the same stuff. He's either playing an action hero or goofy dork, like, but he's gonna bring a particular flavor to the movie. And the way that I would describe it is that, like, when you're working with, like, Legos, right? If you think about your different, like, story elements and character types, specifically character archetypes, as pieces of Legos, you can mix and match them in all different sorts of combinations and get a different outcome. And when you're looking at the way that you're describing it, where it's like, okay, well, I lose my suspension of disbelief and I just see the actor, it's like, yeah, don't get me wrong, like, you definitely flip-flop in and out of that.
Yeah.
But I don't have to pull myself out of the film in order to realize that it's an actor. Like, it doesn't fully pull me out.
I suppose it's not even the concern that it would fully ruin one's immersion. It's just that it's such a visual experience, right? Like you're watching not just a character, but there is a physical human being playing a character. And the more recognizable the human being behind the character is, the more you're looking at the person. You know, it's not just... Like if it were an author, for example, writing different stories, it's not like you're looking at the author. You might be able to identify certain writing conventions that the author might use that is unique to them and will be identifiable as their style, but you're not looking at the author, you're not literally listening to them speak, looking at their face, like the whole thing. But because movies are such a visual experience, you're literally seeing that person there. I find it hard to not look at the person. Oh look, Vernon's actually opened up her eyes. Look out. Don't know, man. What am I supposed I'm not gonna remove him as a friend.
I was gonna say, you talk about this, and you're right to say to an extent some of the stuff that you're saying, I think, but like when you think about, like, I remember when we were watching G Gundam for the first time, you told me about George and his voice actor, and you were like, oh, I know that voice, like he's such a famous voice actor in Japan. And it's like,
well, actually,
that's
I didn't.
Part of the reason
I didn't actually know that it was him at all because, I mean, I understand the example you're making, but just to clarify, I found out after the fact. I had checked to see the voice actor lineup, and I had happened to find that it was someone that I knew. He voiced Yata from .hack GU, which was a big deal because he had this extremely deep voice, whereas this character George in G Gundam was just this, you know, he was sort of an almost effeminate character. Like, he didn't have an effeminate voice necessarily, but it was not that kind of thing. And I was utterly shocked to find that it was the same voice actor. So in this case, I wouldn't say that that's applicable because I didn't identify that that was a recognizable name, or not name, but rather voice, and was interested in it.
I think part of what sells them in Hollywood these days isn't necessarily always their ability to act well, but their ability to act like they act well.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, like, part of what they bring is recognizability. And people are looking for what they bring to the screen. I'll give you an example. One of the only reasons I gave the Sonic the Hedgehog movie a shot was because I knew Jim Carrey was in it, and somebody told me, oh yeah, it's 90s Jim Carrey back at it again. And I was like, yes, please.
That's a little different because that's quite significant. Because if you're going to sit there and say 90s Jim Carrey, I mean, that's a selling point.
Okay,
that's a nostalgia thing.
If I, by the same token, say, hey, Chris Pratt is in this movie and he's doing his classic, like, action hero thing. I know I like that flavor ice cream. Why not go eat that flavor ice cream?
I guess. It's just because I'm not really a moviegoer. Yeah, I'm sure you get it. I sort of get your position as well, you know. I think in this case, we fully understand each other's perspectives, but to speak for myself, like, I'm not really a movie guy, so I will not, like, I don't want that slight immersion break. Like, I'm already sitting there going, oh wow, imagine how much work went into shooting this scene. Like, I'm already sitting there doing that. So I don't want to also be sitting there recognizing the actors as people and then having more, at this stage, what I would call intrusive thoughts about all of the things that went into making the movie. I'm there to experience a story, not a person.
You should never try weed, dude. You never.
Well, I don't need any specific encouragement to avoid that, but anyway.
What's funny is what you're describing is, like, there's a phenomenon where I'm, like, watching if I go and look for a movie on Netflix or on Amazon Video or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like if I go and I look for a movie on the list. If I'm looking through and I see the cover of the movie and I don't recognize a single face on it, I will not even look at the description.
See, now that is really bad. Just trying to think. I mean, obviously, this is an unfair example. I mean, aside from, fuck, I'm never good with actor names. In the context of Lord of the Rings, there were some big players there. But was Orlando Bloom very recognizable back in 1998? I don't think he was he?
No, he was a relatively new name, I believe.
Ian What's-His-Face, who did Gandalf, he was recognizable.
Ian McKellen?
Ian McKellen. He was very recognizable at that time. But
Yes.
Orlando Bloom wasn't. And quite frankly, I mean, Viggo, I think his name was, who did Aragorn, like, it was for the most part a lineup of people who were unknown. And quite frankly, in my opinion, it is the movies that have people that you don't recognize that really take on a new dimension. It's like you're not looking at people, you're looking at characters. There's no scope for, oh, I recognize this person. And so there is deeper immersion. And it makes a big difference, in my opinion.
That's an interesting question to ask. It's like where does the line of credibility begin and end? Because a lot of why I'm not going and seeking out those other films is because I don't perceive them to have credibility because they don't have those big names or at least one big name that I know I enjoy watching.
I think what that shows that there is a problem, if not with that industry as a whole, then at least with people's perspective on it. If anything, I'd say people's perspective is what moves industry standard, and if that's how people look at a movie with no recognizable actors, then they're going to be incentivized to put a big name actor in if it's something that's worth having a big name actor in, you know? And that's terrible. Like, that is literally... that sort of dumbs down the whole thing, don't you think? Where there's this obligatory, oh, we have to put this big name actor in here. It's almost like a box ticking exercise. It's like, oh, which big name actor can we get for this role? And that limits your options in a sense. It's weird. Like, I don't get it at all. I mean, I understand that you see why that's probably not a good thing, but you still can't help it, you know. That's how you want to look for a movie that's worthwhile looking at. Because admittedly, you'd probably be going through some substandard movies before you got a decent one, if you were to just watch movies with people that you'd never seen before.
Yeah, I had never really thought about it in the context of like, okay, well, is it a good thing or a bad thing that when I watch a movie or when I go looking for a movie, I'm not interested in the movie unless I recognize an actor?
The way I look at it is that it should be a focus on the story, not the people playing the characters, you know? I
think that on paper you are absolutely correct, and that's the way it should be. But there is a certain buy-in that is required because you, as a viewer, you don't have any insurance that the time that you're about to spend is going to be enjoyable, and you know that once you become invested, you're going to sit down and watch the whole thing. Most people don't watch half a movie because they don't like it. They'll suffer through it. Yeah. And I think that people have gotten to the point where they're like, okay, well, even if this movie was bad, at least I got to watch X favorite actor. You know what I mean? Like, at least I know I like this portion of it. Like, I know that I enjoy this element. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And I guess the point that I was making before was, when did this start? Was this an initiative of Hollywood, for example, or was this something that Hollywood caught on with moviegoers and played into it? Because they felt that they...
I think it's a market decision. I think it's a decision that was made by the market, the choices of the consumers, because they started doing this in voice acting in the last 10 years, where like any animated movie that's coming out is not even considered, like the top 1% of voice actors in the world went from being voice actors, traditional voice actors, to now they're just regular famous people and actors who
Yeah.
are being coached to voice act. Like, for instance, The Rock playing Maui.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I
you're.
mean? Demi
Actually noticed that.
Lovato playing Rapunzel.
It's pretty
Not
shocking,
Demi
actually, if you
Lovato.
think about it.
It's
If
Mandy
anything, I'd
Moore.
say, and I don't really want to turn this into a wider point, but I have noticed, like, with every year that passes, I start to notice more and more areas of society that are literally devolving. And I'd say that's another one. I think we need to have a fucking, like, nuclear holocaust and just reset. Because, quite frankly,
Wow.
that's sad. Like, the fact that we're going to... Like, we're literally... It's just terrible. I think that's really awful. The fact that I have to sit here and go, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could have it be like the old days? I mean, you should never have to be in that position where you're literally asking for things from the past. Things should be a forward progression, an evolution into something better.
Well, the thing is, better is subjective. And you and me, we can be like, well, I wish that it go back to the past because what I perceive, what they're telling me is better, I perceive as being worse. And to us, that's true. It's worse. Like, but to a lot of people, it's better because they're enjoying it.
But that
really,
no, you see, it's better to them because they haven't thought of it in those terms. It's better to them because it suits their base intrigue. Whereas you and I, we're actually sitting here thinking about it. A lot of people don't go about, any of this stuff while thinking and considering the choices that they make. I don't think that we're sitting here putting forward these controversial ideas. I think it's like everyone would probably agree that it's not good for us to literally judge the quality of something based on what names are there, because obviously the implications that flow from that are terrible. Oh, it doesn't have a big name on it? Oh, I won't watch it. People will do that naturally without thinking, but if they think about it and actually consider what's wrong with that, they'll agree, no, that's bad.
So, yeah, I mean, it's funny, like, I had not even thought about it until after you said it. You were just like, oh, well, why wouldn't you be excited to watch a movie if there wasn't a name you recognized in it? And I don't know how to answer that other than I just know that it's true that I would not enjoy it as much.
So this is an interesting thing, like, how do you... You've noticed this with voice acting recently, like, can you take that...
Yeah, but I never put two and two together.
No, I don't so much mean that. I mean, how would you compare the way people would look at that in a voice acting context to the way that you look at it? Like, can you make sense of the way they approach things and then maybe find a way to change how you view movies based on your understanding of voice acting and all of that? My point being that, like, for you, you don't need, like, some recognizable name for something that's voice acted, do you?
No, but something does gain credibility in my eyes if it does have a name that I recognize in voice acting, because there are certain voices that I love.
Yeah.
Like, one of the voices that I'm always happy to hear is, Kyle Bear, or I really like hearing Chris Sabat. I like catching him and stuff. I'm a big fan of the guy that plays Yusuke, although I don't, for whatever reason. His name is escaping me because, again, I am pretty sleepy, but some voices are just iconic in voice acting, and those voices, when you hear them, you're like, oh, this is about to be really good. One of them that I think that has a negative effect on me is, and it's no fault of his own, because he is an incredible voice actor, but it's the voice actor that plays Lelouch.
Well, he was overused. He was extremely overused. And
Exactly.
that wasn't his fault. That was because he happened to do a very good, mid to late teenage male voice for anime dubs in the mid-2000s.
Exactly. And that, again, like, you're absolutely right, it's not his fault, but, like, that is the reality. The reality is like, that went too far. That exact phenomenon you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even enjoy Bleach because of that. And I tried.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But I suppose that's... I wouldn't even say that that's because of the phenomenon. I'd say that's a unique issue with the fact that there is such a small number of voice actors in that space. But
I
maybe
think
a
that you're
willingness
touching...
Yeah.
You're touching on something that's very deep, and I don't know exactly what could be causing it, and I don't know when it would have started, because obviously, before there were big names in Hollywood, right? Before there were big names in storytelling, there were no names in storytelling, there were only stories. But once we realized that there were only retellings of the same core stories, which that is relatively true, considering all of our stories are, you know, re-envisioning the same story that comes about through the collective unconscious, kind of like, we all know these stories, right?
Yeah.
And they all have meaning to us. It's what it does. What matters now is not, you know, which story you're watching, but who's doing it and how are they approaching it to like give you a deep experience. And it's harder and harder to get a deep experience, I think. So because we've seen every single one of these stories before. Every single story you have seen, recent or otherwise, has been told before. So it has to become about who's doing it. What makes this telling of it special? I mean, think about how many times they've remade the Robin Hood story. Like, they recently remade Robin Hood with Taron Egerton. He's the guy from the Kingsman, the young man that did the Kingsman, and I can't imagine how much different this version of Robin Hood is going to be from every other version of Robin Hood that comes before, but people still wanted to see it. And the reason they wanted to see it is because they like that story. They like the story of Robin Hood. And they don't mind hearing the story again. But this time, how do you sell that story? Hey, here's this name that we know you like.
Interestingly, I think the art of the movie should die. I think the TV show is starting to take over. There's just more freedom. There's more movement there. There's definitely plenty of opportunity for things to be fucked up. I think we've seen that time and time again in television, but I think movies, because they do have to exist within that hour and a half to these days 3.5 hour. I mean, it's only extended to try and make up for how movie culture has shifted and how storytelling needs to expand, but you know, you are restricted to that time frame. You need to get a story told in that time. It's very rigid, it's very formulaic, and because it is so rigid and formulaic, it's starting to repeat itself, as you describe. And for that reason, I think there's less variety in how that story can be told because of that time constraint. Which tells me that I think people need to detach from that need to have a story told in that short period of time. That's how I see it.
I don't think that movies in particular are the problem, while I do agree with you that they are formulaic and they are repetitive and all that. The real issue is that, like, we know all of our stories. We don't have any other ones.
I guess the
and
point
our
that I
stories...
was making... I'm sorry to interrupt. The point that I was making was that I guess the subject started off with movies, and when you describe stories that have been told before, there is less... there's less scope for varied storytelling when you've got that limited time frame. I think if you've got a book, there's so many different ways you could tell it differently. If you've got a TV show, there's many more ways that you could tell the story differently than a movie. But if you're looking at roughly the same length of time available to you, and you're telling the same stories, that's what's going to cause this repetition. And I think it would do the world a favor if movies went and died, you know. And I can say that because I don't watch movies, but that's probably quite confronting for a person who likes their movie, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've gotten everything that we can get out of movies, really. Like you said, there's not a whole like. I mean, I just recently rewatched Pinocchio,
The
the
original?
original.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I've
And
been
then
wanting to rewatch that. I haven't seen that in so long.
it's a fucking masterpiece.
It is. And hilariously, my memory of it interposed with, well, not interposed, but rather brought into the present day with my adult perspective tells me how good it is. So if I were to rewatch it now, I'm sure I'd really appreciate it. I mean, that came out in what, 1943, something like that? 42?
I would be willing to sit down and watch that with you on like together.
I'd love to.
Because like I love that movie, and I just recently watched the new one, and lo and behold, without spoiling too much, there are changes, and to me, I don't understand the point of some of the changes where it's like, okay, you are selling this as something where it's like, okay, we are going to remake this beloved movie from your past, and you're an adult now, so you can obviously appreciate it more, and maybe we can be a little meta, whatever, cool. But for you to go and fundamentally change the overarching meaning of the story seems
Actually,
really.
They went that far?
They did, yeah.
Ugh.
And it's weird because I can't say the movie wasn't good, because it depends on you're measuring like how you measure it being good or bad. I thought like visually it was stunning, like absolutely gorgeous, and I didn't have a whole lot of complaints except for what, in essence, what you said about it, your adult perspective going back and watching Pinocchio. It's like, okay, this is insanely deep. Like the amount of shit that's going on in this film is insanely deep. Like, you can watch that and you can see that there's this overarching, very adult theming, and then you go back and you watch the one of today, and it very much feels like something from today.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely... It's working under a different ethical structure, I think. And that comes through clearly when you watch it with a pair of adult eyes.
What I'm concerned about, just to return to the idea of them taking a very well-established story and then going so far as to change the meaning of the story. The way I see that, and this may be quite cynical, and I don't apologize for it, to me it's utter intellectual laziness. Because what the person who wrote this retelling could have done was instead create a new story. But instead what they did was they dressed it in it being Pinocchio, so that people would have that, identifying factor. Oh, it's Pinocchio, I'll watch it. They could have instead just made a new story, but they didn't.
I think that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that they can't make a new story. And the reason I say that is because Pinocchio is a retelling of an incredibly old story.
Yeah.
It's like it's the hero's journey. Like, from start to finish, it is just the hero's journey. And that story has been told so many times and in so many different ways that, like, the only thing you can do there is make a comment on the ethics of, how the story plays out. And I think that that's what they tried to do. And it's not like they in any way, I don't think they disrespected the first film or misrepresented it in any way. I think it's just like, here's another option. You know what I mean? Because the first film still holds up beautifully. Like, you can watch it as a kid, you can watch it as an adult, and still get the same awesome, beautiful story out of it. I think that, personally, animated films hold up way better
with respect to leaving an impact on, you know, young people, especially when we're talking about like moral back and forth. Like if you're trying to explain some kind of moral concept, I think that animated stuff does better because of how you can exaggerate features.
That's right. Yeah.
On characters.
Well, that's the issue with doing all of those live action remakes of animated films, which is where the cynicism comes in. It's the idea of, well, let's cash in on this idea and then create something for the modern audience. You know, maybe the modern audience would be more interested in seeing these famous actors trying to fucking perform these roles. Let's look at Emma Watson as the fucking girl in Beauty and the Beast who can't fucking sing, and then, you know, oh, but it's Emma Watson! It happens to be a musical, ladies and gentlemen. Happens to be a musical. Don't want to burst your bubble, but sometimes the recognizability isn't everything. And
yeah, and
obviously there's the matter of facial expressions and the fact that they can never be as emotive from the face of a person versus the exaggerated nature of animated art, but, you know, it's a case of why do we need to remake these things? So my cynicism tells me it's a cash grab, it's intellectual laziness, etc., etc. Make something new. But I guess it's easy to say make something new.
I mean, the thing is that every time people try and make something new, it gets wrapped up in that whole, oh, I don't recognize this, I'm not going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So how much can we really blame the people creating these things?
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I think it's a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah.
It's partially our fault for, you know, feeding into it and informing it of how we want to be entertained. And it's partially their fault for, you know, allowing the monetization of the art form of storytelling. Because, don't get me wrong, I'm not like against monetization of things or anything like that. I think that, you know, if you're good at something, you should be able to monetize on it and, you know, make money and improve on it and continue to build on it. But the problem is that always leads towards this inevitable, like, quote unquote, selling out.
Yeah.
And you can see that in all sorts of ways. Like, I think that right now our music industry is completely saturated in like sellout. I don't think there's like almost any music, like any genuine art left in modern music.
No.
And you can, and I feel that way because like I listen to stuff like 70s and 80s classic rock, and I'm just like, bro, like every single one of these songs slaps. Every single one of these songs has like this deeper meaning.
Well, it's because it's the emotion behind it. It's the intention. There's actually
depth.
Yeah, there's depth to it. I mean, there's so many factors at work. We could have an entire discussion about what you've just said, which we probably shouldn't do, but because it would be very lengthy. But the point is that there are a lot of factors at work as to why that music sounds good, but just strictly in terms of the writing, yeah, it was meaningful, and it was born of passion. There's not much passion anymore in music, unfortunately. And
yeah,
I think that is the X factor. It is the fucking passion. It is just the strength of feeling. It's not there anymore. It's dead. I mean, I listen to some modern songs. Everyone has to listen to it. It's on the radio. We hear it when we go to the store. We hear it when we turn on the radio for one reason or another. It's there. And whenever I have to hear it, I sort of take a moment to sit there and say to myself, wow, listen to how soulless this is. Listen to how, like, there's no emotion. It's almost like music that's designed to possibly sound good, but where's the depth? Where's the dynamics? There are none. It's music for the sake of music. That's how I hear it. And the danger is that people are going to be brought up in that. They're going to be brought up in a world where that's the norm. And of course, fortunately, people do recognize that things were better in the past in terms of music, but I guess, and so therefore they're going to bring it back, and let's say, for example, you have a kid and then you bring them up on good music, and then they can themselves carry that standard into the future for future generations to hopefully recover any lost standard when it comes to that. But I think
this
what's
also
awful,
might be us being cynical too, because like there might be music out there that does have deep meaning and it's modern music.
No,
and
I
we
think
just don't know about it because it's not popular.
What we're talking about here is strictly that which is broadcast to the masses, like the stuff that's picked up. This is an industry-related issue, but yeah, I mean, obviously everything that we're talking about is in that context. It's the same with movies, same with music, same with video games, everything. There is good stuff out there. It's a question of what is picked up, what is actually, like, what is the uptake? Like, it seems that people like to be spoon-fed things. So unfortunately, that which is properly promoted ends up being the defining music of the time, Sorry, movies. Defining music, defining movies of the time, defining video games of the time. It's the stuff that's promoted because people don't want to look for what's good. They need it spoon-fed to them. That's a separate issue with an entire different topic of discussion surrounding it, but yeah, it's a big...
So I do wish though that there was like an easy answer as to like when the divide happened between like, and I think that we might be hitting something there when we say something like, okay, well, since there are no new stories under the sun, it really boils down to what cards you're using to achieve the same meta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it is sad, but it is what it is, I guess. It's just
what it does for me, and look, it's natural for me, it doesn't bother me at all. I know it bothers some people, not in that this is how I approach it, but it bothers some people in that they don't want to live life like this, but I very much live life in the past. I think the best years of humanity are behind us, in many respects. Not in all respects, but in many respects, especially on the creative side of things. You know, what's wrong with going back and watching a 1940s movie? What's wrong with that? Nothing. So why do we have to watch the new version? That's the way I look at it. Now, obviously, I don't mean that... I mean that in a general sense. Things don't have to be remade. Why don't we just enjoy the old stuff? Of course, the problem with that is we have to at least try to evolve. We have to try to progress in some direction, whether it's backwards or forwards. But the way I see it is that most of the good stuff is what was in the past. And it's starting to shock me, again, as I say, with every year that passes, so many areas of human life can be characterized in that way. The better years are behind us now. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. I've come to those conclusions while being very careful not to attach nostalgia to anything, or, you know, I've tried to have the most balanced perspective as possible with the understanding that, you know, there is danger associated with getting too comfortable with what you know and what seems natural, but no, like, objectively things are devolving in so many areas, and it's really disheartening. It's extremely disheartening.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of that boils down to the fact that we just don't have enough struggle for us to really like be pulled out of our own comfort zone so that we can like push the bounds of like what makes art so deep and otherworldly.
That's very true as well. I think you've touched on something really important, actually.
I like to say that like there's like, especially with respect to music, right? Like there's music, and then there's "Kissed by a Rose" by Seal. It's like, that's not music. I don't know what it is, but it's not.
I mean, I've never heard it. Okay.
No, it's better than music. It's like something that like if you could play that for somebody who doesn't speak your language. You could play that for someone from another planet. that sound that he creates in that song is so beautiful that it's like, and this is just to me, I don't know how it is for everybody. Some people might hear it and think, oh, that's just a song. But like to me, it's like, that's not a song. That stands way above and out, and it doesn't even feel like it belongs in the same category. Like I understand that it looks like music and it sounds like music, but it feels so much more pure than most music. It's like there's no fat on it whatsoever.
No, I feel that some things can transcend the notion of what music is, because at the end of the day it is emotion. It's what it conveys. You know, if you feel something when you hear it, that's not just, oh, I'm hearing this and it sounds nice. If it actually conjures up something quite deep inside you, yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel quite right to categorize it in the same way.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things that I feel that way about. I mean, like, and I'm talking like movies and music and books. And I think that every artistic avenue has like that thing where it just kind of stands out. And maybe it's person to person, but there are things where you're like, okay, this is genuinely like somebody desperately trying to like answer a big question with very little, with a poor set of tools. Like, the way that I like to characterize it is like, do you know how back in the day 8-bit music on like the Super Nintendo and the NES was like brilliant, and even today that music holds up?
I guess so, yeah.
Well, part of the reason for that is because they were working with so little that they had to think outside of the box to achieve what they were trying to achieve.
I understand what you mean now. Yeah, the whole idea that you can get so much across with so little to work with, and so therefore every note is meaningful. Yeah, I understand what you mean,
yeah. And I mean, we're talking like, you can listen to you can go back and play Mega Man 2, right? And you can listen to like Wily's stage, Wily's Castle. You know, the then you can go on YouTube and look up Mega Man 2 Wily's Castle, and you'll get 1,000 people doing covers in different music genres.
Yeah.
That's because despite that being literally 8-bit music that had like 10 different notes in it, the composition of it was so deep and so like profound to the people that heard it that it resonated across an entire generation of listeners.
Yeah.
And
you're absolutely
right. It's not like really obvious to any of us why it was so deep or why it resonated so powerfully, except for the fact that like the person that did that music, that made it with all of what they were. Like they reached out past what they got more out of it than they should have been able to. They painted with a color that didn't exist.
No. Although, not to in any way take away from what you said, I have to say, and I don't know if you've done this, it sort of had a renaissance of sorts, but I remember about 12 years ago, 13 to 14 years ago as well, people on YouTube started to make 8-bit versions of actual songs. And I actually discovered that with metal in particular, like metal music, God, that translates well to 8-bit. Translates so fucking well, and it sounds so good. In some cases, it's almost better in 8-bit. Something about 8-bit, I think it has to do with how we listen to music. I think when it's stripped down to 8-bit, we can start to appreciate the raw, like a more raw aspect to things that sound good.
Right, it's because it's the pattern and not necessarily like the composition.
Yeah,
like,
and the instrumentation and all the different depth to the instruments that are involved, you know, it's literally just the pattern of the sounds and the notes, and yeah. It was really interesting. Yeah. It was almost like being reintroduced to songs that you knew so well. It's like, wow, down to that bare bones fundamental level, they're so good. It may not even be a case of, oh, music just sounds better in 8-bit. It's probably totally not that at all. It's probably more along the lines of, this music was so well written that you can strip it down to its most basic elements and it still sounds amazing. Like, let's look at the Legend of Zelda theme. You've got so many amazing orchestral versions of the Legend of Zelda theme, but it started in 8-bit form. So, think about that.
Yeah, and every single one of those songs that you see, that you hear, every one of those retellings of that same, you know, musical story that you're hearing, that's all being informed by this grand structure, this. And what's amazing is that another element to it is that, like, a lot of times when you hear it again, it's oftentimes not just a direct reference, but a quiet, subtle reference to elements of the original. Almost like an inside joke for people who truly understand what it is that they're listening to. Like, it's something hidden and quiet. It's like, for instance, there's the part of the song in one of them that's like it's like like that right there. Like, there are a lot of really easy ways to get that across with, like, less notes or with maybe like a use of a different instrument or whatever, but like that particular part of the song, in almost every time that you hear it, always makes you think of the very first Legend of Zelda game you heard it in.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's a powerful
for me,
part of the
that's a Link to the
song,
Past,
and you're not sure why.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Like, there's no obvious reason why that particular part of that particular song stuck out in my head when you said Legend of Zelda song. But for whatever reason, that was a very deep experience for me at the time.
For me, it's the dun 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 dun, like that part there. That's what I really like. But the whole theme, to be honest, is extremely identifiable, and it can be what's the word? Well, they used to say reorchestrated, but reimagined, definitely. Like, it can be reimagined in so many ways, and yet you've still got that same central melody. But
well, that's because you're playing with the concept inside. It's like that thing I said earlier about Legos, right? Like, you can take a Lego kit that's meant to be for the Millennium Falcon, right? You have the overarching structure. This is a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
This is meant to look like this. And then you get that one mad genius that comes along and says, well, look at what else these shapes can make. And he makes something else that's incredibly beautiful. Now, you're still holding a Millennium Falcon, like, kit. And there's, you know, pieces removed. Or maybe all the pieces are there. It doesn't matter. But, like, he's made a different shape now. But it's still a Millennium Falcon kit.
Yeah.
It all exists under one framework. It's like, but there's more to see. There's more shapes that you can achieve with the same amount of information. And that's kind of incredible, to be honest with you. And that also kind of speaks to, like, how Legend of Zelda as a format and one of the things that, you know, made it so beautiful as a game. It's like, dude, we've all played a Legend of Zelda game. Like, you've talked about this at length. Like, when you play Breath of the Wild, there's a reason that you don't like Breath of the Wild. Why is that?
It's because they're trying to do something new that actually moved away from the original essence of Zelda, which had repeated itself throughout all of the iterations, but had been reimagined each time. This was not a reimagining, this was literally just doing something new, while putting a Zelda skin on it.
Yeah,
which
you
I
hit the
associate
word
with that
essence.
Yeah.
There was
I associate with that
essence.
cynical view of cash grab, as we've previously described.
Well, I don't necessarily attribute it to being a cash grab. What I attribute it to is it's like them desperately trying, because they're in their mind, like, playing around inside of that particular set of parameters is difficult.
Like the other night, you were fighting against that dragon, and I was like, man, look at how much they were able to achieve using the same bullshit. Like, that's the exact same fight as the fight inside the volcano in Ocarina of Time. You have to hit the monster 3 times. You just have to figure out whatever it is you have to do to get access to hitting the monster. You know what I mean? It's different, but it's the same. And it's like, as a creative force, like, you have to understand that, like, new people jump onto these projects. It's people who probably likely played Legend of Zelda a lot as kids. Like, they all have, like, their thoughts and feelings. And then, you know, there was this large outcry at the time while Breath of the Wild was being developed for, hey, let's go back to what made Legend of Zelda, you know, special the very first time we played it, which was the original NES Legend of Zelda, which was more or less just an open world game. Yeah. And they tried really hard to achieve that.
That is true.
While at the same time, right. But I think that when you talk about, like, hey, how can we strike a balance? I don't think they could have done a better job at striking a balance between the essence of the game that you love and that particular game that they were trying to achieve. It doesn't hit a chord with you, but, like, I played the hell out of the game and really, really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not perfect. It could definitely be better. Who knows? The second iteration might be really good. We'll see. But I understand why they did what they did. I understand why they felt the need to, like, explore new territory. And I think that was the first artistic move that Nintendo has made in a very long time, to be honest.
Well, I mean, this is the thing.
Mario.
Okay.
Like, what are they doing new with Mario?
Well, that's true. That's true. But the problem is that I think they could have... Okay, there's 2 points to make here. The first is that you assert that, or contend at least, that this is a return to original Zelda, the original one. Open world, is going around, interacting with the space, almost without having a direction. You're just going through it. Well, I appreciate that point, but the way that I saw it was that Nintendo wanted to do something that was a bit different to Zelda, but they didn't want to actually call it something different. I can't know for sure.
You mean like when they did Star Fox Adventures?
I didn't play that game, unfortunately, but you're likely right. My point is that they, you know, are they going to have an IP that conflicts with Zelda? Probably not. They would rather just have it change. They'd rather change Zelda. Do I think that Breath of the Wild really does fully harken back to the original? I guess in a way, but unfortunately the original was working with a very different set of tools. And it was also, you know, overhead, 2D, it's the 1980s. I think you have to look at things a little more deeply than that. You can't just say, let's take that and put it into the modern era. You have to say to yourself, is that going to be good? Is that going to actually be better than what was? In my opinion, the answer was no. I think that Zelda had established a formula that had been going not since the very first game, but since the game that most people considered to be the best, which was A Link to the Past. And that had carried the series through for so long. And so I think, you know, when it comes to establishing an identity to the series, it's a really hard conversation, Ethan, because in the end, that original Zelda game was so innovative and so unique that it literally began an entire genre of video gaming at the genesis of video gaming as a concept, at least home video gaming. I mean, obviously before then you had arcade machines, but that whole idea of going out on an adventure in an open world, that was Zelda. That's what began it all, and so many things flowed from that, but I felt that Nintendo used that as a baseline and then created structure from that. But then instead of keeping with what was effectively good structure, they threw it all away again. When they didn't need to. They could technically say, oh, well, it's like the original Zelda, but it's not 1985. You know, there are open world games that... I don't know. I don't like this entire subject because it requires a lot more thought on my part.
What's funny is that, like,
the entire formula that you're talking about, like the one that we're discussing right now, that is a unique formula to the Breath of the Wild. There is no open world game that did open world the way Breath of the Wild did. And I know that because they literally, they had an immediate, like, blow up to the extent that From Software copied their entire format.
Oh, well, that's...
Because you got to think about it. You got to think about this for a second. From Software went from a game where it was like, all right, we're going a very linear route with all of our games, like very linear. And Legend of Zelda is very linear, typically. And they were like, okay, well, how did they do it? And then they literally were just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do exactly what they did.
That's,
and it was
that's an entire different subject. I'm not going to sit here and say that Elden Ring did the right thing. But whether
I don't think it necessarily did the wrong thing. The reason it's more forgivable is because it's not called Dark Souls.
Okay, let's simplify everything to this. This entire subject of discussion is something that I would want to actually think about before discussing it, and then also have more time to discuss it, but I will make this point. The reason why I am opposed to Breath of the Wild in the way that I am is because there was something that I did like to play that had been going literally since A Link to the Past and had continued for so long and had become Zelda, and then instead of creating two things, Nintendo instead decided, let's change it. Let's revert. Let's do something of a reboot. And they created something which effectively meant that I could no longer enjoy the thing that I used to enjoy. That is my frustration.
I take your point, and I understand your frustration. I do not believe necessarily that this is like the end of the formula that you love.
I do.
I'm not sure why, because every Zelda game, except for, I think the exception would be Wind Waker, which ended up being a cult classic, despite the fact that it didn't do crazy well when it first came out.
It didn't do crazy well because the entire...
has broken records. It's not like...
This is an important point, Ethan. Every single Zelda release, you can actually measure the success of each Zelda release to the success of the console that it released on. The GameCube Zelda games didn't do so well because the GameCube shut the bed. It was irrelevant. Look at the PlayStation 2 and compare it to the GameCube. What a joke. The Wii? Look at how absolutely insanely well the Wii did, and then look at how many units were sold for, or how many games were sold for Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was gigantic. That is because the Wii was gigantic. It was a cultural phenomenon in several countries outside of Japan. And, you know, that's why Twilight Princess was so big. Wind Waker? Not only was that releasing on a system that had very poor uptake, people who played Zelda had a problem with that game. For stylistic reasons, they didn't like the art style at all. They thought it was cartoonish and honestly an insult.
And what's funny is it turned out to be one of the greatest Zelda games of all time.
Well, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend the perspective that Zelda players had at that time. I was not around when that game was still... Well, I was around, but not like, you know, as a Zelda fan. When demos were coming out for that game and people were literally going, oh, this is crap, look at the art style. You know, people had decided that they didn't like it before they had even played it. I don't agree with that perspective. You know, you have to at least... give it a try. That's why I bought Rise. I'm not going to sit here and speak ill of Rise without playing it. I need to assess the game on its merits. So many Zelda fans did not assess Wind Waker on its merits. They instead decided, oh, the art style is cartoonish and shitty, I don't associate this with Zelda, so it's bad. That's weak and poorly informed. So, you know, I don't defend that. But at the end of the day, I think it's very important to consider the fact that Zelda... Nintendo can almost release anything that has a vague Zelda formula and have it do well, because at the end of the day, it's going to be well designed. I mean, Breath of the Wild is well designed. They didn't half-ass it. It was intended to sell the Switch. It was also released on the Wii U for the benefit of people like me who didn't at that time want to purchase a Switch, because if you recall, the Switch was not a system that was worth buying when it came out at all.
I'm not certain it's worth a purchase right now.
Yeah. So, but the point is that Nintendo made Breath of the Wild with they were actually going for it, I think, before they actually knew that the Switch was going to come, but in the end, when they released it, it was to sell a console. They were going for something big and something innovative. But my concern is that they don't have a reason to return to what I like. What reason do they have? Like, why? How? Okay, no, listen.
Well, besides
this is a problem,
the half
Ethan.
of the fan base that outcries in the same way you do.
No, I don't think so. Is that true? Is that really true?
Yeah,
really?
I think so.
That's not how it was in the past. Have things changed?
Well, when I speak about this in person with people, like I know every single time in the last year that this has been brought up, it's always like my favorite game is, and Breath of the Wild is not their favorite Zelda game. Like, anytime...
You have to understand the age group you're talking to. The age group you're talking to is not the people who played Breath of the Wild when it came out, generally speaking. I mean, we're talking about... what is actually relevant to this discussion is people who identify a specific game with The Legend of Zelda. And most people these days, I would say, if you were to actually line them all up, a huge percentage of them, and indeed a majority of them, would associate it with Breath of the Wild and its sequel that is to come. For them, that is Zelda. They will acknowledge that the older games exist, but they probably won't have much experience with them. And whether or not they have much experience with them, they probably wouldn't have the sort of attachment that even you or I would have to them, or any of the people you've spoken to. So what that means is that it would actually be a slight upon those people who have played Breath of the Wild and will play the sequel if Nintendo decided to go back to an older style. So,
except that's not the case, because they have been releasing Zelda games that are classical in the same time frame. Like, they re-released not only A Link to the Past, they re-released
that came before Breath of the Wild, and the one that you're talking about, which was Link's Awakening, is nothing like Link's Awakening at all. Not just in terms of art style, but in terms of how the game plays. If you were to release Link's Awakening now to the audience that Nintendo were aiming to have that game be played by, they wouldn't play it, because that game, I can't play that game today and know my head from my arsehole. I'm lost in that game when I play Link's Awakening today. You put that in front of a kid, no chance. Nintendo has to actually, if they're going to sell a game like Link's Awakening, they're not going to have a game that can be played by kids from 1992 and have that be what kids are playing now. It's not going to work, because kids these days are not playing games like that. They're not playing games that literally challenge their every single facet of their intellectual capacity. That's not what's happening. It's a couch gaming experience. Link's Awakening remake's probably even easier to go through than the original A Link to the Past, possibly.
Look, I'll say this. I don't think that they're ever going to catch lightning in a bottle again, where you have the beautiful and never-ending debate of which game is better, Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, but there is still no experience out there like them. And,
yeah.
I mean, Breath of the Wild is, first of all, without question, an incredibly good experience. It certainly could have been better. But it was incredibly revolutionary, and I had more fun with it than I had negative fun. But I still do not see them forsaking the original formula of Zelda, which was, for all intents and purposes, a masterpiece of gaming. And you could tell this by the amount of people that literally would throw money at it. I don't see them just throwing that away. There's no reason to. It's like, even if they have it in the closet for now, it's like, okay, like in 5-6 years when everyone's like, we want a new Zelda. Oh, don't just re-release Breath of the Wild. We're tired of that map. Where are they gonna go? They're going home. They're going right back home.
That's a very interesting point. That's very interesting. As much as I want to continue that discussion, I do need to go to the bathroom, and then you can assess your current level of tiredness as to how much.
My current level of tiredness is I have been falling asleep during runs. I'm actively awake while speaking to you because these discussions keep my brain stimulated. But
with that in mind, I think it would therefore be better if we finished now. So, yeah. What I'll do is I'll thank both Beta and Yamatori for being in that room and hunting with us. It's always good to have reliable people to hunt with, instead of weird people who may or may not stick around, and who may or may not desperately ask for us to do their hunts in weird ways. But, yeah, I shall bid you all farewell for the moment, and I'll see you when I'm next recording something that you would like to watch. Bye-bye for now.